Hi, everybody. Welcome to Makko Builds Makko Live, or Makko Builds Video Games Live. We're still figuring out what we're going to call it. I don't know why my camera's not. I'm moving it over here. Oh, now it's a little too far. Thanks for joining us today for our regular show. As a reminder, we do this show every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. We get together with Brandon, who's our lead engineer here at Makko, or Mako. We're going to let you guys decide what to call it. And Jeremy, who's Makko boss, who just joined us backstage here. He'll be on stage here in a minute. And we are today. We're going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk about just some really brief updates that I made to Sector Scavengers. Just a couple of things that we touched on last week around like consolidating some screens and cleaning up some of the text on the screens that we've got. As a reminder, we've been really tuning that game for the difficulty and making it a little more meaningful. So our next step there is actually to have a playtest, which we'll probably do like this or next week. Jeremy's got a bunch of fun updates on the product side. And then we'll spend most of the show again with Brandon building and designing a game called Rift Runners, which is really our first party game, which we're building using a combination of Makko to make all of the art assets and Godot as the engine, with the Claude sitting on the other side writing the code via the Godot MCP.
That's right.
So we'll go through all that stuff today. But before we get started, if you haven't joined our Discord yet, you should join our Discord at discord.gg/Makko, Makko. Every week, we have contests and competitions running where you can build art or video games in Makko or game prototypes in Makko and then share them with the community on Discord and Reddit. And we'll enter you to win a $50 Steam gift card. So if you want to win some free video games or free Steam gift cards, stop by, use Makko, share your creations with your friends, and you'll have a chance to win. We also host office hours on Friday at noon Pacific. So if you want to come by and hang out with the team and talk about what you're building, ask us questions, see what we're building, that would be the time to do that. So let me just pull up one other thing here. There we go. So without further ado, we are going to take a look at what I've done with Sector Scavengers over the last week or so. And before we do that, though, I just want to make sure, Brandon, can you check on make sure that we're live in the places we need to be live?
Mm-hmm. We're live on YouTube.
I see YouTube. I'm just going to check Twitch real quick. Oh, we're live on Twitch. I'm watching this. There we go. Watch. Ooh, that's like Tonyception. And we're live on X as well. Jeremy's still backstage. I don't know if we're supposed to bring him up or if he's going to bring himself up. So I'm just going to leave him back there until he's ready.
Yeah, I can come in. Sorry, I pushed a feature live and it's broken, and I'm on not a call, but email thread with AWS. The AWS changed how you get access to Claude models. It is the most, if we did not have AWS credits, like ringing endorsement for Amazon. We all worked at Amazon. We've all used AWS extensively. If I didn't have AWS credits, I would not be using AWS at all. It's a fucking nightmare. Like just straight up. Like, so I added the new Claude models. This is on me. I was like, well, I have my AWS creds locally, so I'll just push it out because it's a really, really easy change. Shouldn't need crazy validation, get it pushed out, and there's some new convoluted way to get access to all the Claude models, which we already had access to them, which there was also a previous convoluted way to get access to them. And I'm just like, God damn it, this is why everybody uses OpenRouter or Google or something, because and so like I'm on the email thread with them because there's, I mean, okay, Fable, whatever. Okay, obviously I'm not enabling Fable because it's ungodly expensive, but you'd use all your credits in like 5 calls. But it was going to enable a Sonnet 5 and Opus 4.8. And yeah, it's just terrible. I don't know. Like that's all I got. It's just bad. It gets so anyways, if you notice Sonnet 5, cutting edge here, Sonnet 5 and Opus 4.8 on the website are broken, so don't use them.
I think I might be the only person who's able to, though, right?
Yeah, I mean they're only on the premium tier, but if for some reason you're getting ready to subscribe that $200 tier, don't touch them. That's why I'm not rolling it back, is because it's not that big a deal. But it's just the morning complaint about AWS. It's just, it should not be this hard. Like if we went through the Claude API, we would not have to do this. Right.
Yeah.
If we went through Google's hosting, we would not have to do this. It's because we're going through Bedrock. So like, it's just, I don't know. It's just fucking insane. Like,
you could say that it's really broken at the foundation level, down to Bedrock.
That is touche. That is true.
So if you want to hear about technical woes and hear really good dad jokes, this is also the place to be at 8:30 a.m. every Wednesday Pacific time. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was just making sure that we.
Yeah, I didn't know we could do a lot of dad jokes. I would totally do more dad jokes.
Oh yeah,
that's what we're all about.
That's basically the only joke I know how to tell. So we're gonna quickly dive into a sector scavengers update. I was telling Jeremy, I was telling Brandon, I don't have a ton of changes on sector scavengers. I'm changed a couple of screens that I was going to show you guys, and then really where I wanted to spend most of the time is I'm working on a educational YouTube video, like just one of our to get out one of our for our YouTube channel. I think Caesar is going to be continue to have some limited bandwidth here, and so I have a script and a shot list and all that stuff, and I've been shooting for the last day. I've made a little Vampire Survivors game and put assets in it. I don't love the way it looks, and Jeremy, you're better at beating these things up and giving us good direction. So anyway, I'm gonna run through sector scavengers quickly, and then I'll run through this new thing I'm calling Makko Survivor.
Yeah. So the other thing I should I have it set up where I could screen share, but my idle game I play, Go Muffin, just did a Vampire Survivor mini game. I'm pretty sure they used AI assets for like everything and AI coded it really quick. But it's a masterclass at not needing animations and just using assets. Like I got in a conversation. Yeah. I got in conversation with Brandon yesterday because I was showing him the Omni work I was doing, and he's like, "Oh, I can do a sliding animation now." And I was like, "Why do you need a sliding animation? Like games don't usually have a sliding animation. They have a sliding frame that when you're sliding, it just goes to, and then you have like particle effects or something." And so I think that's a big thing to keep in mind, like attack animations, running, all that stuff. Of course, you need animations, but there's a lot of things you don't need animations for. That's why, in like Vampire Survivors, as an example, each character had like 2 frames the entire game. And it's a hugely successful game. So some of that is being creative and figuring out what works. And so like in Go Muffin, their Vampire Survivor clone, it's literally just a static image bouncing and it flips left and right, right? So like there is no actual animation going. Now it looks a little rudimentary, but it's something to keep in mind when you're designing these things, especially for placeholder assets.
Things like the wall slide make a lot of sense there as well. Like we don't need an animation for the wall slide. We just need the guy holding the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. And the other thing to keep in mind is like if it's a fast action-packed game and you transition between stuff a lot, you should just almost automatically assume you don't need an animation for 2D, right? Like, because if you're going to spend 200 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds and it's possible to spend that little time in that, in whatever the transition is, you probably don't need, because like even attacks, you obviously need a visual indicator, but if your attack is just like insanely fast, like a 100 millisecond blip where you shoot something, like you don't need to animate that. You just add a frame where you just like pop out and shoot, right? Because you're starting to play in like the human eye. The human eye can't really register that animation anyways.
All right, so. We're going to that instead of sector scavengers. This is where we should spend our time.
I think that. Yeah, that's a good call. And I think that's also like a really good call too, is like a lot of people think about transitions from idle to movement, idle to attack or whatever. And most of the time you don't even need that because of what you're talking about, Jeremy. It's just so fast, half a fraction of a second here.
So I think
and your big 3D.
This is I think you're going to have this feedback for this, and it's good. because this is what I think I've been struggling with. Like, oh, it doesn't look great, and I think a big part of it is what you're talking about. Like I probably don't need a bunch of the animations that I've got here. So this is
you wanna show this? I'll show it. I clicked it.
Oh, I thought I was. Oh, my bad.
Night Survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very basic. I just wanted to not. So I think. So you see what I'm talking. See what we're talking about here. Where like this could be. I've already sped this up, right? Like this was more pronounced earlier, but I think what you're saying is like this doesn't even need to be an animation. It could just be like my guy, like vibrating.
Yeah. Well, and so for this view, I would just copy what Vampire Survivors did, right, and what other games do. So specifically the 2D top-down view. So the bats are really good. So that's one where you want the animation.
The bats are great.
But I don't think you need like a full. But the bats are also kind of. Well, no, I guess the same there.
I like my little runners too. You see these guys? These guys are great.
It's really the runners
the shamblers that don't look great.
Yeah, and I think what it is, it's kind of like a what is the phrase? The uncanny valley.
Yes.
Where like it's a video game, but you have like a clean animation. And so it's supposed to be super arcade style, but since you have a clean animation, so like the runners, and actually even your guy, you might be able to just clean up that animation. So let's go to your guys. Let's try it. Let's go to your guys running animation.
Yep.
And I think we can literally just delete like most of the frames.
So I did this yesterday, but we should delete more. I spent a lot of time yesterday on this. Like, where are my characters? Getting them down to like 10 frames, but I think you're right. They need to be like even fewer. Here's my scavenger. Here's my animations.
Yeah, well, like for your running, I actually think you could probably do.
There we go.
Because I actually think the running is fine. I think so. Here's what I would do: go to resample frames, go all the way down to you're still go to 4 FPS. You're still at the high. So like that's another thing, Tony. You still love to do is you love to have super high sampled animations, and generally in 2D games you don't want 24 FPS, right?
Yeah, this looks a lot better.
And actually, I would even say like let's look at your frames. I would almost say delete number 2 and 3 real quick because this is your default, so we can get back here.
Yeah.
And so just that's too much. All right, resample them again. We don't have a Control Z. We need a Control Z. So that was. Sorry. Go back. It's up in the upper right hand corner. The ... Say reset.
Oh, oops.
You and Brandon just click stuff without reading.
I do. And then resample back down to 4.
Okay, that's actually a bug. Just resample to 8 and then go back to 4. That should have reset to 4. Now resample back to 4. And actually probably, what actually happened is you had a lot more frames deleted before this.
Yeah. So we resampled from 22 down to 4. And then but then when we restored it brought all 96. And so we had to cut back down again. But I mean, it's pretty easy to get back down. You just gotta. And
actually, so let's just try this because this is like I think you still want to clean them up but for the sake of the stream, let's just bake it and go try and see what this looks like relatively.
This is just this is gonna be 7 frames less for those of you watching. The previous running animation was 22 frames. This is 15. And so now,
and I assume this is actually so it's looping where before you might have had the 22 for like one loop. So that's also you had like 22, which encompass probably 1 second of the animation that was generated. This is 15 that encompasses 4 seconds. So,
what does that mean? What does that mean? So
it's going to look dramatically different. Go ahead and use Gemini too. I want to see if this works well. We can show off a new feature while we're at it. We went ahead and added the new Gemini model yesterday.
We had a Panda was asking what's the difference between that and GLM 5.2 since they're the same credit cost.
Well, Gemini is much faster. I mean, so here's the thing with models also is like they all have their different strengths. So like Gemini can be smart, it can be really dumb, but Gemini is very fast. So that generally like people, that's its strength, is it's how fast it is. So but GLM will do some things better. It's kind of like people have their favorites too. Like all right, you want to try it? Just you zone out, Tony.
I lost myself for a second there while you were talking.
So, but you can see how fast Gemini just did all the work. It was very, very fast. So,
oh my god! Oh, I hit spacebar. That's why. So I think in this case, I think
I think this is way too fast.
Yeah.
By the way, I think the animation is way too fast.
Yeah. So I should slow it back down to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with how the background is scrolling and the animation, it's a little mismatched.
That's the uncanny valley that I'm struggling with, because it's like he's running really fast in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me get out of here. Art Studio. So let's bring this back down to 1.
And
sorry. And
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I just brought it back down to 1. Should I get rid of some of these frames too?
Well, we can just test it. What I was explaining earlier is that if your frames are encompassing 4 seconds of an animation now, before they were encompassing probably about 1 second. So as far as visibly what it looks like, it's going to look fine because you're playing over the course of 4 seconds, right? Whereas before you were playing over the course of like 1 second. So like you were
what setting here controls that?
You deleted frames.
Oh, got it. The 7 frames from 22 to 15 brings it from 1 second to
no. So you have 24 times 4 seconds. You're at 24 frames per second. So you were down to like 15 frames or whatever. But I assume you cut it down to 15 frames continuously.
Correct.
So you were under 1 second of the original animation.
Got it. Yeah.
As far as like the animation length. So now it just resampled. So like the speed really matters.
Yeah, look, this looks dramatically different.
Yeah, the speed really, really matters because now you're still playing at the same rate. Well, now actually at 1, you're going over the course of 4 seconds. So if you like deleted all these out, resampled at 4, it would actually be, but I think you can clean that up later. Well, we just want to, because like ideally for your game, you would want it to be as short as possible just for performance reasons, and you would want it on loop. But right now it's functionally as looping inside the animation. So the animation may loop 4 times, whereas before, this is probably the easiest way to think about it. Now the animation is looping 4 times inside the actual animation itself, whereas before it was looping 1 time, but it had more frames in that 1 loop. So now you have less frames in 4 loops before you had 1 frame or more frames in 1 loop.
That makes sense. Here we go.
Yeah. See if it did it.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think that already looks quite a bit better. So now,
he doesn't look like he's on a treadmill anymore.
Yeah, and so like for this style of game, it also is not supposed to look super realistic, right? It's supposed to be like an indicator that you're going one way or not.
Well, and so that's one of the things I was going to ask is like, I like the painterly style just because I like the way it looks, but I think it might not be the right style for this type of game. Like I think I might want to use a completely different art style for a game like this. But that's one of the things I wanted to ask.
I mean, I think it's probably okay, but you just need to it's all stylistic choice. Like you're going to need to clean up some stuff, and like, so now it looks really funny because your other animations are high fidelity. So I think that's where you'll want to clean up and like kill frames and lower the sample rate on those others. And I think your background's way too busy. So your background's so busy it's hard to see stuff.
So that's I was struggling with the background, and I think that's a good way to think about it, is there's just too much shit on it.
Yeah. And also, so people love to like you can see this in AAA games better, but people love to be like, oh, I want it dark and gloomy or blah blah blah. It is very hard to get low contrast games to look well. So the easiest thing to do is to add higher contrast, and all your AAA games now add like colorblind modes and things like that, because when you have a bunch of the same colors blending together, it just is hard to see, right? And so this is another one of those things where, like, I read a Reddit post the other day where they're like, man, I hate being a game dev because you just have to be good at everything. And that's like true, actually, right? Because you have to be good at like color tone matching. You have to be good at, you know, even this sussing out like what animations look right. So I actually think those green backgrounds would look a lot better, because like I think you're also just getting too many washed out colors. It's fine to have your dark colors on, but like dark colors on, you know, something they stand out from.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to. Contrast is what I was going for with these. I thought that the winter one was going to be better than the forest one, but I have the forest one, so I'm going to put it in here and see what it looks like.
Yeah, and part of this is just like experimenting a little bit. Like I can guarantee you, when people are testing all this stuff, they're doing it crazy experimentations. But like, if you also go find like a Vampire Survivors video, like you'll see that, you'll definitely see that. Like, so I'm thinking of one map. It's like the library map where it's like this light brown, and everything just stands out very distinctly on it, right? And I'm sure and the thing is you can have maps that are like harder to see and stuff, and you can call it part of your game mode or whatever. But I don't think that's where you want to like do all your testing on.
Oh, right? Yeah, look at that. That looks like a lot better.
Yeah, but it did do a good job tiling the map.
Yeah, it did.
But like you can see all these guys a lot better now.
Yeah. And part of that's just figuring it out. And you may even want to do like a more lime green washed out yet. You know, like the stuff Leto was sending us, that background color I was using probably would be really good for forest.
So here, let's do this real quick, because I want to show you using the tool a little bit while we do this. So like that was a great piece of feedback. I'm gonna go to my backgrounds now. I'm gonna generate an image. If I want to do what you just said, should I? This is how I would do what you just said. I would come in here, and I would select this background that I've got, and then I would select this guy, and I would say something like, I'm going to have a bunch of characters that look like the dude with the shield.
No, here's what I would say. So we know the feedback now. So like that might be a good place to start off, but like now that we've seen it, we want to provide the feedback we've had and say like, hey, we tested this green tile map. Against this character. And the contrast was not good, and the contrast was not good, and the tile was a little bit too busy with the fixtures and stuff, because I actually think that's part of your problem too. Analyze both of these and come up with and generate a better background tile, and then kind of let it do its thing, and then you might do a couple. And then let it do its thing, and let's just see. How you're going high.
Well, I brought it down to 1K though. So medium and 2K is the same as high and 1K from a credit usage perspective. Sorry, from a credit usage perspective.
Oh, sure. From what it's doing, it's not.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask is what am I better to do here? Medium at 2K or high?
Well, I would definitely not do 2K background tiles because that's crazy. That's like huge, and then you're going to just be downsampling them a ton.
Well, that's what we did with the last one. So let's see what it looks like with this one at 1K. I'm excited.
Because right, you're taking background tiles and then shrinking them way down. So, like in most games, your tile sets like this are like 128 by 128 or 256 by 256. Definitely not 2048 by 2048. They would be 2048 by 2048 if you had like a 4K 3D game that you wanted like super high quality textures on.
That makes sense. What is the how are we taking like what's happening here with our prompt engineering? Like we tested the green tile set, yada yada yada, the words that we just said. We just sent that to Makko. What's Makko doing with it?
Makko's doing a sorry, one second. Let me shut the Roomba off or close the door.
Roomba.
Okay, so Makko is basically just running a workflow that takes what you say and is translating it to the best inputs for your intent into the specific model selected. So a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, I need to do wildly complicated prompts that I generated in GPT or something. And that's fine if you're using the inputs directly and you're trying to get, the best prompt logic or whatever for the specific model. But like ours is not passing your prompt to the model as you input it. Ours is doing a bunch of like magic to optimize it for the model. And so you're better off coming in and telling it your intent in human language. And actually the hyper complex, just as a tip, the hyper complex specific language, even to the image models and stuff, like isn't good unless it is literally telling it new information, right? So like what a lot of the LLMs actually generate is they generate a lot of extra words that mean nothing. And that does not help your image models. In fact, your image models need more concise, clear definition. And it's just when you go to GPT or Claude and say, hey, generate me a prompt to do blah, blah, blah. The first prompt it generates you is probably 10x longer than it should be. It's even worse for the video models. So like GPT Image 2 High is pretty good because what it has is it has a ton of thinking in front of the image generation, which is why it takes so long. I think GPT Image 2 has like iteration too. So it like gets one image and it'll toss it if it's not in line with well, you did 16 by 9. But anyways, like this is darker. But can you click on one of these? I'm interested to see. Okay, while it's darker, it is less busy, but you didn't do a square.
Kind of blends in with the character as well.
Oh, you know why? Because I did title screen. I'm an idiot. We have tiles. Ground tile set. Top down environment.
Yeah, that should select 1-to-1. Probably by default.
Environment, top down. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then just say we want it to be a light, or we want it to be a green forest. Yeah, there you go.
No, I always do that too because it always resets it back to 1. That's we got.
Yeah, so the right hand side should not be attached to the preset either.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. See him. Look at him.
Tony, you're supposed to like bring these complaints up with the team when you have them. If you're like, oh, it always does this. I never want to hear you say, oh, it always does this. And you've never complained to us about it.
At least we're knowing, at least we're bringing it up in the stream. I'm writing notes right now, so I'll go back and I'll fix all these things.
But those are the things. Like,
I just feel
if we
bad
just
I know you guys are
deprioritized
busy.
it,
I know you
but
guys
if we
are busy.
let us deprioritize it, like so this is the worst thing that can happen. So what's the point of dog fooding a product? The point of dog fooding a product is find the issues. But if people are dog fooding the product and not bringing up the issues, you're not dog fooding the product. You're just using it, right? Like, there's a difference between using and dog fooding. Dog fooding is you use it so we get all the food back, or in the feedback, not the food back. But you get the feedback from the usage. If you're just using it, you're just a random user of the product, right? Like, we have no idea what you're doing. So always complain about it. Now, complaining about it doesn't mean we'll fix it right away, but like, these issues are like trivial to fix. So like, why wouldn't we just go fix them?
It's true. And that, folks, is your lesson on how to escalate issues.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, honestly, so there's this weird thing where people, I've seen it all over, and we've taken some trips recently and with other adults and things. I don't know why, but people just are like afraid to say what they want, like, or what bothers them. That is the worst thing you can do in software, by the way. I think it's weird in real life, but in software, it's especially bad. You always say what you want, and you always say what bothers you. If you want to make it, doesn't matter if it's a game, it's a website. If you're working on software, you gotta fix the things that bother you, and then communicate the things that bother you. That's the only way they'll change. And what I would say is, don't assume someone else brought it up, because there's been like, for us in Makko, just like that, Tony's like, oh, this is a pain, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, yeah, I see how that would be a pain, but literally no one's ever brought that up to me or Brandon. So like,
I think I have a couple of those too.
Yeah, and like,
I think you got about 45 of them, and they just, because every time it happens, you're like, oh yeah, that's so annoying. It happens every time. It's like, just about every time we use the product, there's something.
I do use the product a lot.
I would say, like, even the worst case scenario, if somebody brings up something, it'd be like, oh, this is why we did it this way. And that's worst case. We don't change it. We explain why we did it that way. But then best case, or not like any other case, it's like you have a brainstorming session on what you can do differently. You talk about what you can do. And those are very important for product growth and even just bug fixes and polish.
Yep, but you gotta know it's a problem first. Can't have a conversation. This is true in your relationships and everything. Can't have a conversation about a problem if you never communicate the problem.
Yep. And internalizing it. Yeah. And internalizing it is dangerous. But I also want to go back to what you're saying about how people have really complicated prompts for image generation. I've been going through some YouTube videos around like Godot MCP and all that. And that's a lot of the first results, the streamers' content is, hey, come up here, type in this basic PRD requirement for your characters, and then paste this prompt into your image generator. And so that can work for different, I don't know, like Google image generators and all that. But yeah, for Makko, it's a little bit different, and more concise is better.
Well, because a lot of the times, if you go to another, not even another, if you have Makko make the prompt in Code Studio via chat, any of the LLMs or image generator tools, or not an image generator tools, are going to come back with a bunch of direction that is already preset here and could conflict with what you're doing. So like, for example, if I went and said, hey, Gemini, build me a prompt for an image generator to make a scavenger dude with a makeshift shield walking across a field, it would come back with things like, put it in comic book style, and make it 3/4 instead of top down, and make it 16:9 instead of 1:1, right? And so then I might paste that in here, but the presets might be conflicting. I actually don't know what happens in that situation, if our presets take over, or if the prompt takes over. But
the user prompt should always override, but doesn't necessarily. I mean, obviously, like, we use an LLM to parse all that, so it's also at the whims of the LLM gods too. So I mean, and using complex prompts won't necessarily hurt anything. They certainly won't necessarily help though. So
ooh, here we go. Which one of these do we like? I like this one.
yeah, and see how less busy these are?
Yeah.
Like there's not massive objects. So that one has some, but they're like transparent.
I'm gonna try this one.
Yeah, I like the first one.
Did you add it to the project?
Oh, sheet. Thank you. I always forget to do that.
Say I just added it so it can research.
And I did this yesterday just to see what happens, and it's so fun. Oh man, it's gone now. Here we go. Oh, it is. Never mind. Did it too quickly. All right, here we go. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now,
this
you
looks
can see all the shit.
Dramatically better.
And actually, the one thing I would say is, I think this render size is too large. So you might say in the chat, say, "Hey, can you shrink the tile size by 50%?"
Okay, so let me ask if what you just said is because yesterday I had it zoom in. Should I tell it to zoom out or should I tell it to reduce the tile size?
I mean, it doesn't matter. You can say it either way. It should understand it.
By 50%, you think?
Yeah, I think it's way too zoomed in. Because the thing is your background is just a background, right?
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't do what I was going to do because I think if I would have zoomed out, it would have made all the people smaller too. And that's not what you're saying we want. We want...
No, you don't want to zoom out. You just want a smaller tile.
Yeah.
So
the rudders are my favorite, by the way. I love these guys. Look at them. Look at them.
I know. Well, and so like for the speed, you probably want the same thing. And actually, I mean, if there's certain animation, so like the walkers, you probably don't want that smooth of animation, but the runners, you may. Here, reload so we can. You keep getting stuck playing the game, or maybe this is just going too fast for you.
No, Gemini is going a lot faster than the other models.
Yeah, Gemini is very fast, so it's.
Did it do it?
Oh yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, it did.
It's like dramatically smaller. So, and here's the thing. This looks way better because you don't have like this massive image in your face that's because like you almost don't want to see the fine details. And that's why I was saying you don't need it large, right? Because you almost don't want to see the fine details. Because if you see the fine details, yeah, you do also. Actually, do you stop that?
Yeah.
And then just start a new chat. And then, okay, so go back to your game and do a screenshot of your game.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Control Shift S.
Is that how you take a screenshot without using snippet?
That is the snippet hockey.
Oh man!
Jesus Christ, Tony!
It's too big.
How long have you used a computer?
I always just click the button.
Control Shift S.
I always just click the button. There we go. All right.
Oh man, I didn't even realize there's like little gems floating around until we just stopped moving the character around. So maybe that needs to be adjusted.
Look at those guys. Look at those guys.
Yeah, the gems are not nearly.
You think they should be bigger? Or you think they should be different colors?
Both. Yeah, they probably need a thick black. They need to be bigger and thick black outline, thicker, but start just like. Yeah, this is already looking a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, refresh that shit.
Let's see what it did.
I do like that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I like that UI art, but yeah.
Oh, dude, look at that. This looks so
now
much
this looks
better
even
now.
better.
Yep. So you're making progress, and
So-
yeah, I mean, especially for the stream, I would use Gemini. I mean, if you don't want to wait, Gemini is better, anyways. But thing is, it won't always be smarter. But 3.6 Flash is pretty good. 3.5 Flash was kind of stupid. Let me choose my words carefully there. It would just do really stupid stuff all the time. We use 3.5. So Gemini's image, like looking at images and image recognition is like really good and interpretation. So we use that a lot for like any of our image interpretation stuff. But 3.5 Flash would be fine like 70% of the time. And then it would just do stupid stuff. So it's actually pretty funny because 3.6 is cheaper, which is good, because that was another reason we didn't have 3.5 Flash in there. It was a little bit more expensive and it didn't make sense in the lineup. But it's not actually that much better coding than 3.5, but it's a lot smarter than 3.5. So what that functionally means is all the stupid mishaps it was doing happen less. Google's kind of losing the battle on Frontier, though. So we do want to get GPT in here too. The GPT models are cheaper than Sonnet and they're smarter. So but we're begging for credits right now from
Google. Give us more.
Involved.
Give us more. So you were saying, so I've got a couple of these here. I love the attack. But this is the one I think that it's using right now. Or is it this one?
Probably the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this one, right?
Oh, no, you tell me.
No, it's not. There's no way, because I made it much shorter. Let's see if it's this one.
And by the way, you don't have to resample if you don't want. If you already have the frame, you could just delete every other one here.
So that's what I did here last time. I got it down to like 40, and then I just like delete one.
So virtually no game has 40 frames in an animation.
Yeah.
Or even close to. Like most 2D games you play, the animations are like 5-6 frames. So and maybe what we should be doing is we should be setting the default, but this is actually one of the easiest tells of quote unquote AI slop is people don't know how to clean up their animations at all. There you go. That actually already looks to me dramatically better. It's only 9 frames. Because also keep in mind how many of these fucking guys you got on the screen. And
yeah, there are a ton of them.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is basically I'm taking out things where it looks like there's just very tiny changes in the way the thing is moving. Like this guy's just like tilting back and forth, so I'm gonna get rid of him. And we have 6. Oh, dude.
Yeah, there you go. That looks
better. So much better. All right, let's do this.
And so what we want to do eventually is like kind of an AI assistant that'll try to do some of this by itself. Actually, with how fast Flash 3.6 is, that might actually be a good assistant. The problem is like it's very expensive to do this sort of work with the AI. Like that work Tony just did in 2 seconds would be like 50 cents of compute with the AI. So like that's why we don't do that yet. And maybe one day. But yeah, those are the sort of things that it would be great to have a button that's like, oh, clean this up, or even better yet, like all the characters and things you need. Like we do actually want to type the PRD in and it goes start generating assets for you and have you review them. That's kind of like the end goal. But
like when I built the original Bobo version of this, all of the animations that we were building were 4 to 6 frames, right? Everything was 4 to 6 frames. And I think it'd be interesting, and this is where I don't know about how technically hard this is, but like if we had an option for like the number of frames we want in an animation, like I want a 4-frame animation, I want a 6-frame animation, and then it just did that as good, like
yeah, and
whatever you call it, quality.
And I think it always comes back to cost, not difficulty a lot of the time. So, because like with LLMs, you can do a lot of the stuff and they're good enough now that we can add features like that pretty easy. It's just you're adding, you know, a ton of like, so, and I'm working on adding Omni right now. And actually, let me go check we can actually get that live while we're talking. But Omni is better at doing those sort of things, but you still need 3 seconds. And actually generating oh shit, I forgot to select the.
So Jeremy, real quick, before we move off this, do we feel like what we're showing off here? I'm gonna show it in full screen mode so you guys can see it. Do we feel like what's on the screen right now is good enough for us to use as an example in a YouTube video, or are there specific things that we should go change before we do that?
No, I think this is good. And I mean, so the thing is, everything we just went through is the tutorial on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna go. That's what I'm gonna go turn into the YouTube.
Well,
video
and so the next thing, you want to make gems bigger because you can't really see. Yep. But like, yeah, I mean, functionally, so like you have a game now. If you want to like add balance and increase them. But the beauty of Vampire Survivor is it was like one of the first in that mode, and it had really good balance and really fun. So like the you know,
yeah, the making this fun part is different than the how to make it part for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, everyone, that is those are the updates for the not Rift Runners content. I'm going to stop sharing now. Next week, I will actually run through. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm a liar. We skipped Sector Scavengers. I'm gonna show you guys the quick screen update that I did, and then we're gonna move on to product updates that Jeremy was talking about. Oh no, I did the thing wrong.
How long did it take you to create a Vampire Survivor game?
Today's Wednesday.
Yep.
Monday and Tuesday. And I spent a lot of Monday out of the house because I had some stuff going on. So I would say like half of Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, and I think that's really good because like the animations, like just cleaning them up, and then it's a very it's a tried and true like gameplay style. So I guess that sped everything up as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do for all these videos. I think I'm gonna make a Vampire Survivors game. I'm gonna make a first-person dungeon crawler, right? I'm gonna make a third-person dungeon crawler. I'm not gonna make any more TCGs or what was the other one tower defense games, because no one wants to watch those on YouTube. They hate them. They just completely hate them, which is wild to me because I thought tower defense was more like the nostalgia for the youths. All right, here we go. So real quick, last week we were talking about going and cleaning up a couple screens in Sector Scavengers, and there we go. And so the biggest screen that we needed to clean up was we had like 3 screens for this gacha where you're being rewarded with credits, and it made it hard to understand what was going on. And so now this is all just one screen here. The scrap recovered, what you got, how much you earned, and the fiction around it. And that transitions in right after the gacha. And so instead of having the gacha and then a new screen and then another new screen, we're just condensing this down to one screen that transitions the content, where the content transitions.
What is the gacha and how do you get to there in your game?
This actually shouldn't exist anymore, unfortunately. Sorry, I'll do the gacha again real quick. So you go into the room, you get your encounter, you have to play heal cards. So then I play a heal card, which is going to solve the encounter and trigger the gacha.
Gotcha.
I see what you did there. Oh wait, it didn't trigger the gacha.
Also, I want you to do something after you're done here. Your cards just still look bad, so I'm going to see if you can take a screenshot and give it to Gemini and see if they will clean it up.
You mean the words on them, or just in general?
Yeah, the framing of your cards, like how you overlay text and all that.
It's terrible. Yeah. And now, man, Brandon, now I ran into a bug.
Oh no.
Core breach. All right, I got to bug out.
So one of the big downsides of the GLM models is they generally do not have native multimodal input for images, and so we basically have to pass, when you use an image with GLM, we have to pass it off to another model to get a description of the image. So I want to see if you can clean it up real fast with why is your thing all smashed?
What thing?
Your window.
Oh, because I have it next to the stream window so I could see you guys still. There we go. So real quick, just to Brandon asked how the gotcha gets triggered, and I want to show it off. You get your encounter, play attack cards to clear debris. Oops. I don't have any attack cards. I'm going to play a scan room card so I don't spend any energy. Next, the next room is going to have a loose cargo encounter. And then I'm going to play this last card here, which is going to complete the encounter and trigger the gotcha. So now encounter's finished. I got $8,000 worth of stuff because I got components. And then I dismiss them. Like I said, I got to get rid of this screen because it's now redundant. So grab a screenshot of one of the cards. Okay. And then go to Art Studio.
Wait, were you talking about Code Studio or Art Studio with the fix? Because I think the font is in your game, so it'd have to be within Code Studio.
Yeah, you're right. So I'll restart the chat here. And what should I say here?
Just say like the framing, like the text layout and framing of the card looks really bad. Clean it up and make it AAA quality. Let's be meme worthy.
I like it. I'm gonna get one more that looks. Let's see if I can get a scavenge. Yeah, the clear debris ones look real bad.
And make sure Gemini is selected.
Bam! Emerald style. No one knows who Emerald is anymore. Emerald Lagasse was a famous chef when I was growing up, friends. And now I think he just cooks for himself and his family.
Doesn't he still have a restaurant in Universal Studios Boardwalk?
I mean, I think he's got a restaurant with his name on it.
Yeah.
Man, this is so fast.
Yeah. I mean, Google gave up on being the smartest, basically. So they haven't even released a pro model in like 2 iterations. So I think they're just trying to make their Flash model smarter and faster. And I think that's what they're, but you can kind of see that too, right? Because this is the model that probably drives all the search and stuff. And like when you search, it searches very, very fast, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that's what they're optimizing for is like,
yeah.
Oh, hey, Igor. Sorry, I missed your chat earlier.
What's up, Igor?
We love Igor.
Well, luckily, it's only been a minute since it came through in our...
Oh, look at that. I have Twitch open on my phone next to me. That's how I saw it. One of our 2 viewers.
One of our 2 viewers. One of our 2 live viewers. We have...
That's true.
No, we have a lot more viewers on YouTube.
That's true.
After the fact.
The clips get some good love too now. I'm excited to see how the new thumbnails do.
Yeah.
Where's the... Oh, wow. We actually have had a bunch of YouTube viewership today on this stream. A lot more than usual. We've had 4 concurrent viewers at one point.
Damn.
And it wasn't us. It was like recently. That's crazy. Ninja, we're coming for you.
Yeah, basically there. We don't even have to make Makko anymore. We can just be YouTuber streamers.
Yeah, 100%. This is now the Tony, Jeremy, and Brandon podcast.
That's right. Oh my God, when he was stolen from Twitch, that was a huge deal.
Oh, I remember we were working on that contract to keep him, and the amount of money that Amazon offered him was obscene. So I can only imagine what Microsoft offered him. We at one point we told him that we were going to put him on the homepage of Amazon.com every month.
Just crazy.
Yeah,
literally.
That insane,
literally insane,
complete insanity. I had to go through literal months of approvals to get that in the contract, and then he was like, "Sorry, guys, Microsoft is going to give me generational wealth, and so I'm going to take that."
Yeah, and he basically did it for like 2 years and basically retired.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he still streams every now and then, but he's doing exactly what I would do. He's hanging out and having fun and streaming. I'd be making video games, but yeah, who knows what he's into? Maybe he's rock climbing. All right, let's see what it did.
Hopefully it didn't break it because you're running in chat, so you're in expert mode, baby.
Dude,
no snapshots, no nothing.
I'm an expert, man.
Do you even? Here's a question: do you even use the snapshot feature anymore?
Mm-hmm. Not. I think the last time I used it was like a couple of weeks ago, but 6/17. No, yeah, so about a month ago. But so yeah, I guess not as much anymore. I should.
That means we're getting better.
Ooh, it does look a lot better. It's not placed correctly, but look at that.
So put a screenshot of that one.
Yeah.
So now you can put a screenshot.
Dude, this looks a lot better.
And so you can just paste that screenshot in and then also say the text flickers as the cards bounce. And the layout's a little off. Because I actually think if the text didn't flicker, it would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what it did with the energy thing real quick.
Oh, those look a lot better.
Yeah.
Say some of the cards layout look fine.
Yeah, card title looks great here. I want to put a badge around your negative haul.
Oh yeah, really if you put a screenshot, you can just leave it.
Okay, cool.
Because then it'll infer what. Please fix it.
Dude, Igor's playing Black Flag, and I don't know, it's one of my favorite games of all time, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think the remake just came out, and that game made me feel like a pirate. It took me back to Sid Meier's Pirates game back in the day, and I don't know, this is like my favorite interpretation of a single-player pirate game.
My family is going to the Bahamas tomorrow. My in-laws are from the Bahamas and still live there, and the first level of Black Flag is the island that they live on that they're going to tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's called Abaco.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. It's like when oh man, what's the zombie game with Ellie in it?
Oh, Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us. Last of Us Part 2 took place in Seattle, and I was living in Seattle. You're living in Seattle, and I was playing that game. I'm like, oh, we're doing this in the Paramount. I'll just
it's really cool when that happens, and you're like, oh. And it's funny, like Black Flag is obviously set centuries ago, but they did a good job like making the island like the topography and like where things are and the shape of it and stuff. The other game that did a really good job of that was I talk about it all the time on this show was Last Light, Infamous. They did a great job with making Seattle like really Seattle.
Yep, it was like a tiny version of Seattle, but it was really well done, and that game was incredible. You could climb up the needle.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, let's see what it did here, guys. Let's see what it did. All right, it moved it down a little bit. I still see a little flickage, huh?
A little bit. Well, the right card's title looks good. The left card's title is weird. So that is strange.
Oh, getting so much closer.
Oh, so it's like a specific card that it's doing that to. Is it because the title on that card template is that title bar is in a different location than the other cards?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, some of them are green and less tall, and some of them are gray and taller. And
Yeah,
so
it's clear. This one on the left looks like it's below the 2 bolts on either side, the title bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the scan rooms is not, because it has more of the card art here.
Yeah.
It's a good call. It's a good call.
Like as an engineer, I think my preferred thing, like you can do this. This is absolutely fine. I would say that if I were writing the code for this, I would fix the UI template, because if the card template itself, if there's like different layouts for each card template, which is fine, like you'd need to add like a card type or
No,
some
yeah, and
identifier.
No, what I'm definitely going to do is go and make them all the same card.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and just make them all the extract template. Cool. This is great. I'm gonna let it update this one more time, and then we'll move on to the next thing. But this is really, a lot of the value that we see this show providing. And by the way, Jeremy, I asked both Igor and Vince what they find valuable about the show and why they tune in, and we're just gonna read off the responses here because they were really good. Go to my account.
Also, goddamn AWS, they finally got back and they just linked the very convoluted help articles, and they're like, I cannot understand how they like, do they even want to sell Bedrock is the question. Because like I'm to the point where I'm like, kind of fuck the AWS credits for now, and we'll just go use the Google credits, right? Like, because not a ton of people use this anyways. Because Google, we can just go light it up immediately. And that's what I don't understand. Why is Google so easy and AWS is a nightmare? I think Google's
like DNA is more like everyone can use it, make it really easy, and Amazon's DNA is more like, at least with technology, right? Like Amazon is convenience, one click. Yeah, it's really against all the tenets. Maybe it's just day two thinking.
Well, I know when we worked at Amazon, we were talking with one of their AWS teams, and they're like, we're not a UI team, we're not a front end team. And so I could see how there's a disconnect between ease of use and what their S team goals are.
Yeah, I remember going to their all hands, and it was all about uptime and down and not like having outages of service and nothing about like usage.
Well, what's crazy here is like, so here's your steps. Yeah, it's like, so you add an IM policy to your user account that's trying to access, and then does like an auto subscribe thing. But I'm on our admin account, so I should have access to everything. And it's like, it's just so, and then so like that clearly doesn't work. Yeah, it's just super fucking weird, man.
All right, let's see what happened here, guys. So I just told it to change the title on the clear debris card specifically. I'm going to go change that card in general. And then I changed the energy bubble size and position. And instead of a green check mark, I moved it up too far, whatever. Instead of a green check mark, it was supposed to put a little bubble up here. But oh man, the energy
There you go.
looks so much better now. I'll probably mess with the color and the size of the numbers, but yeah, this looks a lot better than before. Man, look at that.
Yeah, that is looking a lot better. You can read it well.
Yeah. One thing also, sorry, I just thought of. I don't know that there's any value in having everything bounce. I think there's a lot of noise in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what the standard card game UI is that the one you're hovering over gets bigger.
Yeah, the way you're right. And to explain why I chose this not as good treatment, which I'm now just rolling back. is I was trying to simulate like, oh, you're in space, everything's floating, zero G, but you're right, it just makes it super
But you
busy.
do a lot better job on that in your title screen than you do. Once again, you're trying to use animations too much. Because even all these little like stuff bouncing inside your screen.
Yeah, like
Like
these are these things here are animations. This is just
yeah, but like
yeah,
your
yeah.
title screen looks dramatically better than those bouncing piles of rubble.
Let's see.
The title screen looks fantastic.
So like I would ask the question of like, why did you do certain things in your title screen, but then just abandon them in the actual game?
Well, I think I mean, Tony was iterating on the title screen after the game was, so yeah, just like,
well, no, but it's a good question, but because like I agree, like this looks a lot better from like a movement perspective. My question would be,
and also like your thing that is bouncing here is the spaceship, and see how it's like slow and controlled, and everything is slow and controlled, whereas like all the stuff in your actual game is like bouncy frenetic and spammy.
Yeah.
Because I do think that captured space a lot better, is slow and controlled. Now for the cards themselves, the cards are not in space, so I don't. But for your actual,
and I can just make it highlight, move it up. But yeah, you're right. That looks a lot better. And then, yeah, I think. So I have a question. Do you think, in this case, it would be better to use an animation and slow it down, or do what I'm doing on the title screen, which is just like having having multiple static images do something? In this case, I think I'd have to put them all on top of each other and have them like.
Oh, I would do exactly what you have here. I think this is the perfect model. You have debris floating around, and have it bounce off the wall or just disappear outside the view. And then your person, just like the spaceship, is in front, and you have 3 layers: spaceship, person on front, you have your background, and then the floating debris. I think this does not look like AI. Well, your menu's still a little funky, but like this doesn't look like AI slop here. This actually looks like someone made this and knew what they were doing. Whereas like these other pages still look like, I mean, this is, polish, but like this definitely looks like AI slop, right? This looks like someone that didn't know what they wanted, just started generating stuff and tossing it in here, which is probably about where you were at that stage of the game.
100%.
But like, even this viewport, like if you add that, well, you have walls here, right? So if you always have walls in view, you can have debris bouncing off the walls, or you can just, honestly, I don't even think you need to think that much. I think you already have like these bubbles. I don't know what these bubbles are.
It's like dust.
There's just a lot of noise, right? It's like more is oftentimes not better. Right? Like oftentimes simple is better than noisy. You just want the things that you have there. But like I would get rid of the bubbles. I'd get rid of those. I would get rid of the random static up top.
Well, that's what you're repairing, but I can get rid of it. Yeah.
Well, but like that is very not obvious now. So I would just get rid of it for now. So if he's actually walking to the piles, if you repair them, they should disappear and there should be more. So this is where
they do. That's what just happened. They disappear and then they respawn if there's none left on the screen. Like,
yeah.
Watch,
so like
this will go away here in a second.
And I think this is probably your big thing, is like, I've watched you play this a ton of times. I had no idea those were anything other than visual noise.
What, the piles and the static?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like, I think what's weird to me is those things are just like automatically you go to, and they're not clear. They're like what you're trying to do. So I think you're trying to tell a narrative there, but it's just visual noise. Like 70% of your screen is the narrative where you're going around doing this stuff, but like there's no interactive part of it, and it's not super clear that's what's happening. You're just clicking. So like, to me, this has been a big problem. And actually, I do think this is like something you need to clean up. Like, it has always felt like I'm just clicking random cards.
Yes. Well, that's what the tuning and the simulation was meant to address, right?
Yeah, but like even if it was balanced, I don't even know what you were balancing. Like, I guess that's my point. Is like I don't actually understand the core game loop once you're in there.
Interesting.
Right. So like, okay, so you're right here. Explain to me why you would click a card and what's happening.
Yeah. So when the level starts, this pops up and it says debris blocked, quarter choked with wreckage, clear the wreckage, right? This is your assignment for the room. And then the visual indicator of what cards to play is the color, right? Attack cards are orange, and these are orange. They have a little checkbox, which I asked it to move up here, and it didn't. But at one point, it will. And then you can see the progress through the encounter here, right? 1 of 2 cleared. I don't have any more clear cards, so I'm going to play a scan card because it costs 0 energy. It's going to tell me what the next what's in the next room. Looks like the same kind of challenge, and then I'm going to clear this by playing the second scavenge card, and I'm going to get rewarded for doing that. And that is the core loop: is solve the encounters, get rewarded, and extract from the ship. Don't die.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, outside of balance, like, so everything's like I would imagine. So it's not very fun if you just click one card and it clears one wreckage, right? Like I'd imagine there needs to be some RNG or some combinations or something. So you would probably need some like.
So the RNG, there's a couple RNGs going on here that I'll walk through, and I think again this is great because it's clearly not clear. There's a couple things going on here. When you play the card, any card, you're going to take damage. You're going to take some amount of hull damage, and it's going to be between 4 and I think 12 is what it's set to right now. So that's RNG, and then the only way that you get money, which is the goal of the game, is to sell the salvage and get money, is by finishing the encounters. So you have to finish each encounter, and then you're rewarded for it. So I'm going to finish this one again. This is also, I get a random assortment of cards to grow my deck. And then this is the RNG, the reward. I could have gotten 3,000. I could have gotten 10,000. It just depends on what you find in the ship. So the variables are how much damage do you take when you play a card, and how much money do you get when you clear an encounter, and then how much do you heal when you play a repair card, as an example.
Interesting.
And then
I don't think most of that is, and maybe it's a tutorial. I just, so like right now, so go to the next room.
Yeah.
So even the fact you need to go to, so one, I think this indicator over here on the right hand side of your screen is doing a hell of a lot of work in your UI, and it's fucking tiny. I actually think that's by far one of the most important indicators on this. Like, I don't know what this hardware, what is the salvage money, like why those are the same size as like your actual encounter, which is kind of wild. I don't even know what hardware is. What is hardware?
It's the relics in Slay the Spire or Vampire Survivors, right? Items that you can find and equip to give you some sort of bonus.
Got
like
it.
You click on this and it's a free scan card.
Oh, okay. So it's actual use. So yeah. So
I was thinking the objective would be on the left-hand side of the screen because that's most people read left to right.
I had it over there before. Yeah, I had it over there before, and I guess I by the way, I agree that this needs to be more prominent. I could make like this whole side the encounter side, and probably like lose the hardware and put it like either down here or in a menu. I'll figure out what to do with the hardware, or make the salvage not its own box, because you really just need to understand the number here. And so I might be able to put that like up here. So yeah,
what's the blue in the upper right hand corner?
This is your energy, and this is your health. Yeah. So like if I play a repair card, it goes down to 4.
Yep. I was wondering if there's a smart way to combine them, but I mean they're pretty prominent aspects of the game.
Okay, so I like this. I'm going to move the encounter over here. I'm going to make it the whole size of this. I'm going to decide which one of these to keep, hardware or salvage, and move it over here. I'm probably going to keep hardware, and then I'll make salvage something. Maybe I'll
I
make
would
salvage.
also, yeah, I would also change. It says encounter 0 of 3.
Yeah.
That's really.
It feels like you're on encounter. Like there are 3 encounters, and you're on the first one, as opposed to you have to accomplish 3 things in this encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact you have to click on it. Like honestly, the fact you even get this UI every time you start is, I think, a smell that the UI's not there or the explanation's not there. Like,
If you have to give someone a screen to tell them what to do every time, it's probably not intuitive enough.
yeah, and so like realistically,
Slay the Spire does not have that, right? Like you just load
yeah.
into a room and you start fighting. The only rooms that have any sort of text are like super novel, and they're more like they're text encounters. Like you don't actually fight anything. You just make selections.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it's like
just
flavor. Then you make your
Yeah.
selection that you want, and
Yeah,
that'll give you all the information you need to know what happened without
But
reading.
each and sorry, you asked something earlier, Jeremy. The reason there's rooms is again that's fiction and gameplay based. Each room is like a node that you're going through, and the fiction is that you're exploring a spaceship, and so you're going through the hallways into each room.
yeah, and that makes sense. I think this is a good example of how like you're trying to build systems out before you have a vertical done. If that makes sense. So you got all these systems around everything, but you don't have vertical. Actually, so I was talking to my buddy on Reaper actually on Friday, and I was like, so like it feels like you guys got like every system shitty implementation not done yet. Like why didn't you complete a single thing? And turns out their philosophy was basically the opposite, which I wholeheartedly disagree with, but this shows that different people have different opinions. They were like, oh, we just throw all the systems at it, and they had a team and like a bunch of money, so it's a little bit different because when you have a team you do have to parallelize stuff, but as an individual, like you need to finish a loop, because like I think some of the other things layered on top, especially if you made each one feel good layered on top, would just make sense. Like the extra rooms, I just assumed you'd more encounters, you can go farther, better rewards, whatever. That made sense. I think the thing that never made sense to me is like, what are we even doing in here? Just like clicking cards and like there's no strategy, or because like it, I mean, I actually still don't know that there's strategy in the card deck, which is like kind of what your your core vertical is like, and it doesn't need to be balanced, but there should be like combinations you can use. There should be modifiers. It can't just be like how I would think about it is if I was coming into this room. Okay, so there's 3, I assume there's 3 salvage, and that's what the actual quest thing is. But like they should be like very clearly identifiable that you're cleaning up these 3 salvage. The lightning things at the top, I assume, are the amount of repairs you can do now that you've explained it. But like it should be super obvious, and each salvage shouldn't be monotone, right? Like you shouldn't, or each, like it shouldn't just be, oh, you click salvage, you get a pile. You click salvage, you get it. That's like so boring. Right, like that's not how any card game works.
Well, sorry. The analog there is you click attack, the enemy takes damage, you take damage. Right. That's the loop for Slay the Spire and any of these cards.
Yes,
right?
But that's not actually how Slay the Spire works. There's a bunch of combos. There's a bunch of things. Each mob, there might be 5 mobs in a room, and you have to kill all 5 that have variable HP.
That's what I'm saying. So that is what you just described is the analog that I'm going for here, right? Each encounter is the combination of mobs. I just don't have that many encounters right now, and each solution for the encounter is a strategy for completing it, right? And you might, again, this is the beginning of the game, so I don't have a ton of cards yet, but right now I've got repair. I've got a fusion system in place. One of the, again, modeling after vampire crawlers, like you find the hardware that then allows you to do the things you're talking about, fuse the cards and add upgrades or make them cost less energy, make them cost no energy, that, you know, make them
Well,
heal more.
yeah, and those make sense. I think going back is the core issue is I don't think the core loop
But
is
yeah,
interesting.
that's the problem is like without any of that stuff, it's not fun. And that's the problem.
Yeah, and I think that's your vertical should be fun. I say this all the time, but like League of Legends, sure, there's a billion champions, and they've now added all these layers onto dragons and different things in the map. But you go back to the original game that everybody loved, and they're literally talking about making classic. It literally was like people will literally play hours just last hitting CS to get gold, right? And so that's clearly a meta game. And they did that vertical. They made it feel really good. How did they make it feel good? There's 3-4 different mob types. There's your cannon minions, your ranged minions, your melee minions, your cannon minion, and your super minions, right? And like each one has different HP, so you attack differently and things, just that is a vertical, right? So until they got that, like imagine they were like building Baron and going like, oh yeah, there's Baron, but they're like core generating income didn't work. Like it
it's funny because I did not it makes sense that those 3 different creep types have different health and stuff, and I knew that the cannon guy was stronger just because I played a ton, but like I didn't actually know that there was a big difference between the casters
different
and the melee guys.
Yeah, different HP, different gold, different everything.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, yeah, so like that's that's game design, right? Well, you don't lane either, and by the way, it's the same thing for jungle mobs. So, and this is also this is actually the beauty of a game like League of Legends. I think League of Legends is really interesting to study because it's like, it's got really shitty people that play the game. And it's like literally one of the most highly competitive games on the planet. I think that is why it is so wildly successful is like, there's just, it attacks everybody. So I think from a game design perspective, it's really, really interesting. So you didn't know that because functionally you don't need to know that. All you need to know to play the game at the shitty level is I'm going to attack this minion until it's dead and I'm going to push into the turret. So 100%. That's also part of the vertical, right? Like that all together is a vertical. You're killing minions, you get your minions piled up, you kill a turret, and then the economy and HP and all that stuff.
Those are systems around that core loop.
But imagine for a second that the minions didn't really like target you, or when you attack the enemy champions, or you didn't you just like one shot everything when you attacked it, and stuff didn't have variable HP, and there wasn't a way to accumulate rolling into the tower, and there wasn't a way to like to take aggro so that your mobs could come up. Like that vertical would be very, very, very boring, and the game would have never taken off, right? Because like the second you like spend more than 5 minutes in it, it's like, oh, I one shot everything. Cool. That's not fun. So why do items matter? Why does strategy matter? And I think any of this stuff, it's like you got to decide at least your baseline strategy, because I'm sure the creators of the original Dota did not think of all those things. And I'm sure League of Legends 1, which was a copy off of Dota, did not, or inspired by, let's call it, did not consider all those things. It just felt right and it kept moving. But I think they're now, so this is unfortunately where game development is and design. I always say like, oh, I wish I was old enough in the 80s to make a game, because it was never easier to make a good game as it was in the 80s. Because there were no games. Yeah, there were no games. So you made a game loop that was mildly fun, and people were like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then of course there's things like Tetris that still live to today. So it's not like there weren't things, but like Pong was one of the biggest games ever. Right. Yep. Like at the time. So like,
it was Galaga, which is about as simple as you can get. Right.
Yeah. It's easy days. So we do not have the luxury these days of going, oh, the League of Legends don't exist. Slay the Spire doesn't exist. So it's like, you almost have to even be better at your verticals than those people. But you can learn a lot from them.
Well, because it always goes back to, right, like even if I sold this game for $1, it's not even the amount of money it costs to buy the game. Yeah. It's like, why would I spend my time playing this instead of the alternative? That's really the question.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Because I look at games all the time and buy them. $5 to $20 for me functionally is the same price. Like, you're not going to convince me to buy and play a game for $5 that I wouldn't spend $20 on.
Yep.
If I'm going to spend a night on a game, like a drink at a bar is $15. So if I'm going to spend a night on a game, I'll spend $20 on it. Like, who cares? The bigger question is would I spend a night on the game? Not would I play it for 100 hours? And
would I spend my Friday doing this?
Yeah, and would I even spend 2 hours on it, right? And there are definitely gamers that are like crazy about the value trade-off, but I don't think most gamers are gonna go, oh yeah, I just like, play it for a night. Like, there was this cult city builder I played for a night. It was like, honey, I made a cult. It was hilarious. I never played it again. I was laughing my ass off for about 3 hours and never touched it again. It's like $25 or $20 when I bought it. Great value, right? And so, like, for games like this, it's kind of like Reaper actually is a good example. Is because there's like it's pretty polished in some ways, and it has systems in place in some ways. But I straight up asked them, I said, so why would I play this game over literally any other game that's out there in the genre? Like, just give me one thing you do better than another game. And the answer was, we don't right now, which is fine in development, but that can't be the answer. Like, once you at least have to be as good with a new theme, right? Because your answer could be, oh, well, people are just bored of Slay the Spire, so they're really just looking for a fun game.
They're looking for like the same thing in space, right?
Yeah,
Or like for me, one of the reasons I decided to make this game is because literally Slay the Spire is one of the only options, or at the time was one of the only options out there like this. There's a bunch more now, but even the ones that have come out since, I mean, there's a bunch of roguelike deck builders. They all take their own take, and in my opinion, like, kind of veer from the genre basically. And that might be crazy, I don't know, but I do think that there is and I think that Megacrit should do it, but I think that there is a market for Slay the Spire in X setting.
Yeah. But it's got to at least be 80% as good as Slay the Spire.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And that's where, starting with verticals, it's like, to a certain degree, running the analogy, I think, is fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But run the analogy, copy it, like 1-to-1, right? Copy. Okay, Slay the Spire as HP and you attack mobs. So a scenario is there's 5 mobs and they have HP and we need cards that do this. Like, literally copy the card design. Like as a baseline, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, now you don't copy names, but like, copy the ideas, right? Like, there's no reason. Like, they're really talented designers. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Like, if you're going to go make a physical card game, would you not look at Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and go and Yu-Gi-Oh and go, okay, these work really well? Of course you are. You go play One Piece, you go play like the Final Fantasy card game. It doesn't matter what you play. They all functionally work the same at a base level, right? And so, and if you have a great idea, so let me put this out there. If you have a great idea, there's no reason to not go pursue that great idea. What this feels like to me is it's placeholder. The core game loop is a placeholder, which, if that's the case, copy. Like, that's what I would say. If it is not this specific thing that you have the great idea in, just use what other people did. I mean, it's what World of Warcraft done. It's what every game has done for the last like 30 years, is like, they go, oh, I love this mechanic. So we're going to build it in. And then, like, so this could even be, oh, I really like what this roguelike did and this roguelike did, and I want to just merge those two concepts. So like, your hardware, it could just be like layered on top of, or the multi-room extraction, or the money, whatever the money buys you. Maybe that stuff's just layered on top, but the actual core loop doesn't need to change because it's fun. It just needs to be a different thing.
And I think that is a big part of the problem that I'm running into. Is what part of a design choice I made early on was that there weren't going to be enemies and you were going to, quote unquote, fight the environment. But I think what I'm consistently hearing is like, that just doesn't sound that fun.
Well, I mean, you can fight the environment, but it doesn't feel like you're fighting the environment.
What do you mean?
So like, so when I fight an enemy, it has 5 HP, 10 HP. I have to like kill it. I can lose to it. There's some amount of puzzle.
Got it. Yeah.
That's not the case here, right? Like,
because each individual action doesn't have a.
So like, here's what I would say: when you're
Like, you're
fighting
always,
a pile of rubble,
yeah,
you're not fighting the pile of rubble. There's no way to lose against that rubble.
Yeah, you can
it's
only
a one
lose.
shot kill.
You can only lose against the room. Correct.
Yeah. And the room is not actually fighting back against you. So like, I think that's the other thing. When you're fighting people in Slay the Spire, the room is the battle, right? The overall battle. And there's 4 guys in the battle, and each guy does something to you to make that you have to plan against. There's defensive moves, there's healing, there's that none of that exists here.
It takes a turn too, where we don't have a turn here. Like, the player just has a turn and you get hull damage on your own turn.
Yeah. I would actually say
I like that
decouple hull damage entirely from the cards.
And make it a quote unquote enemy or environment driven thing completely. I like that a lot.
Because how is this going to work as you progress through the game? Like, the hull damage is like standard, and you can't tune the difficulty, right? Because the whole thing is in the first level, the hull shouldn't take as much damage because you're learning the game.
That's the way it works right now. You do take more damage as you go through. Like, when you go to rooms, you're more likely to take higher hull damage if you don't play the right card.
So this is the other thing. Your card shouldn't be RNG, right? Like, if they're RNG, it should say does 1 to 5 damage.
Yeah.
It should not be like, I think it looks like the whole damage is attached to the card, and it's like, I think that's not how deck builders work, right? Like, imagine you had a Magic card that like rolled a different card every time you drew it from your deck. It'd be really weird, right?
Yeah. No, I like this. I like this direction. Like, the idea that if we're going to treat the environment as the enemy and the room as the battle, the individual elements in the room, whether those are repairing things or finding things or clearing things, should have not only a variable amount of damage that they can do, but also like a character like turn where like they have some sort of thaco that determines whether or not they hit you at all, and then some amount of stat that determines what the extent to which they hit you if they do, and that should all be contained in a turn similar to the way the user has a turn.
Yeah, and go ahead.
How do you feel also about like repairing stuff not being like one shot? Like, your cards would make progress towards repairing it.
Well, that's what right now the repair is, and again, I need to add it to the card. The repair is like 8 to 12 repair is what you get. So it's RNG. So like, how is that different than what you're saying?
I was talking about like the little individual like repair spot that you go to, and I think what you're talking about is like the whole room repair.
Yeah. You mean like leaving the thing in place over multiple card plays as if it were an enemy? Yes, sorry. So yeah, like said differently, you shouldn't be able to one shot everything.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, the repair spots, I would actually remove those. I think there's more interesting ways to do that. Like, I would just have them go to a random spot in the room and quote unquote repair it. And what I would do is, as the room gets like, maybe have broken states or something for your backgrounds, and as the room gets like more and more damaged, it like changes, or just have like more interesting visual effects that match the room more than just because I thought that was like I thought that was like a monster or something. Like just a floating monster. But yeah, I mean, for now you have HP and stuff, so that's more of like finish. Like, you can leave them in for now. But like, I also was confused, like, well, can you only repair once in this room because there's only one thing? It doesn't feel very dynamic or bad. Like for example, one thing is I would start with none of those spots when you enter a room because you're at or if you enter at 100% HP, right? Because it's not breaking down. And then as your HP goes down, then spots would like show up. Like,
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I like that a lot. Where like rooms become more difficult based on, so like the depth you're in the ship makes them more dangerous, but also the damage you've already done to the ship can make the individual rooms and hallways more dangerous because that makes sense.
yeah, and then in that you could still leave a indicator uh that and you could still go to the spot to repair it, but then like at 38 HP you would have spots all over and then they would keep reappearing as you lost HP.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, like make them at one point. I'll make them look better than these little sparks,
Yeah,
but for
yeah.
now, I'll
And
keep them.
I think the thing I was like struggling with is like there's like a set number of repair spots and that's like visually you can fix that later. But so what I would do, and maybe this is a good exercise, and then we can come back and talk about it next week, is I would take a battle in a single room, ignore all the other mechanics, take a battle in a single room and just map like go you and I'm sure Claude can do this really easy. Say like take all the mechanics in a Slay the Spire battle, a single battle, and map them out for me. And then you should go to a single room and map out all
Ooh,
those issues and then say like what
I like
roughly
that.
it equates to. And then you should use that as your design pillars to start designing those things. Because I think without that, you're just going to keep stumbling through it.
If you were gonna do that, which models would you use, and would you use plan mode or chat mode?
Oh, I would. This is gonna be a bad answer. I would go use Claude Deep Research. I would use Claude Deep
Got
Research
it.
and say,
Got
go
it.
research. And I actually wouldn't just use Slay the Spire. I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
tell it
yeah.
like what type of game I was building, and say, give it a couple examples like Slay the Spire or Slay the Spire 2. You could even just use both of them. And then I would have it go do like an actual deep analysis of those things. And this is what we want to do with our game design tool. We're brainstorming right now is we want to have our own database of these so that our model can very quickly leverage those things, so that you don't have to go research it. But in absence of that, you want real data. You don't want the model hallucinating this stuff. You want it to go actually research these things in depth, which our tool does not currently do. So we've actually talked a lot internally about this is kind of product research and design research kind of all wrapped in one. Is like you're doing market analysis to understand what people like and you're breaking it down by component. You don't want to use an LLM's trained data on that. You want to go like search the internet and actively do research on it. So in absence of us having a massive database with all the game types and the stuff laid out, you need to go use like a deep research task. I know that's not a great answer for Makko, but these are the things we're building towards. These are the problems that we know exist. And but then once you get your markdown file, then you can just throw that in Makko and work from that inside Makko. Get a markdown artifact. And you don't even need the full map. You just need the spec of what a battle entails. And you could probably tell GLM 5.2 to make, update your combat to match that spec once it's done. And it probably would do a pretty good job to getting it up to date. But anyways, I think just for the stream, I think reviewing how things map to each other and just showing the audience like the output of that exercise could be really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, how does in a world where debris is an enemy and the sparks are environmental hazards, how do we then take those analogs and make the game as fun as Slay the Spire?
Yeah, or it's like I wouldn't even give it fun. Just make it functionally,
Or like,
mechanically work the same.
Mechanically, that's what I was trying to like. Maybe mechanically work the same and be as clear without like the one of the reason the conversation started because like, hey, if you have to tell the user via a UI every room, then that's broken. And so I think that's the core of what we're trying to get to is like it should be straightforward enough for the user to understand without having a piece of UI why it's fun to play a card.
And because like you think about all those games and there's like a tutorial And then you never see that shit again.
There's not even a tutorial in Slay the Spire. You just start
playing. Yeah, but there's training, just like one of the core pillars for like Rift Runners, is that you train the user to identify a symbol in Slay the Spire, and that's how you know what room you're going to go in and all that.
Yeah, which is a more interactive tutorial. But there usually is always a tutorial, and then you never ever see it again. Whatever format that tutorial takes. And I think that's the way you should think about designing your UI for your game. You definitely should not ever click on a box to actually get the directive for what's going on. And you know, there's also the concept of like quests, but so like let's take an MMO. Sorry, I was just thinking about this. Let's take an MMO as an analogy, like WoW. Like imagine you attacked a mob and you needed a box to pop up to like tell you how to kill the mob or something, right? Like, or that you needed to kill the mob. Because I think that's the fundamental level we're at, is like you would need a box to say you can kill this red monster. And every time you went into a new area, it was like you get a box that said you can kill a monster. That's pretty crazy. Now, having like quests outside the context of that core loop that are like, hey, you need to kill 100 monsters, that suddenly makes sense. But like we're talking about one-on-one kill the monster, right? And that should always be self-explanatory in the UI.
Yeah, 100%. Like stated otherwise, this is a shitty example of this, and I'm sure Claude will come back with better ones, but like the fiction is you're walking down a hallway to go into rooms. And so in a world where we're still using debris piles, like there should just be like one debris pile here, or maybe a couple here that are blocking this door, and not just like spread out all across the place. And then it's clear that, or clearer, again, it's probably a shitty example. It's clearer that the thing you need to do is go like clear out those piles, right? And get them out of the way to go through the door.
Yeah.
And maybe the door's pulsing or.
And I think you have a screen before this too, or you have like those little stations or the shipwrecks or something like that. Could be your quest giver type of thing.
This is the node. This is the equivalent of the nodes in the node map in Slay the Spire is what you're talking about. These guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So like this is, node 1 in Slay the Spire, node 2. You can split off at one point and you'll be able to pick different paths here. Like these are all different paths.
Yeah, and we got feedback on this too, because I think there's fun ways for space exploration that make a lot more sense than this. But once again, this is tertiary. As long as
this is the
level right now.
Yeah, this is the important thing. Like how do we make it clear that what you're supposed to do here without words, and then how do we make that fun?
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, you got your assignment for next week.
I love it. I'm going to show you one other thing that Hazel and I were working on. It's on my GitHub because we wanted to have it on my phone. Can you guys see Thwap?
WAP.
Yep.
All right. So similar, or using the guidance, Jeremy, that we just went through. I tried to distill something down into like just an addicting core loop, and actually like. I can't stop doing this. I'm going to send it to you and see if you like it. But it's basically just like a physics, like a monkey climber, right? Like you get some momentum and you kind of hurl yourself from one node to another. And there's some fiction here, like you're in a claw machine and you're trying to climb to the top to find your friend. But
I think for these games, the narrative can be literally anything. So
yeah. But like. To your point about just like a core loop, like I could do this all day, and Hazel has been doing this.
What are you doing right now?
I'm holding the mouse down, making the guy swing around, and then releasing at the right time to go to get to the next peg.
And are you moving your mouse around too to get it to spin?
Nope.
No, okay.
Yeah, I'm just literally it's on the phone. It's a tab, right?
Yeah, and this is a really good example of like. Okay, you have a core loop. Now you can design levels and things.
Yes, levels, and I'm going to put enemies in it. Yeah, and I'm going to take enemies out. But like, just that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it's what I did was I told it to abstract a normal children's game, or a normal children's activity into something that we could make a video game, and it did tree climbing. It was like, this is like this simulates the sense of joy and wonder a child feels when they climb a tree, is what it said.
That's funny. I mean, yeah, and you like, yeah, there's so many. This is a great example because there's so many things you could layer on top of this. You could layer on modifiers that make you like not jump as far. You could layer on modifiers that make you swiggle, or modifiers that launch you off at 10x speed or something, right? So you could
100%.
you can. This is actually a so oftentimes people are looking for way too complicated stuff for a game. I just said all those games in the 80s were simple, but they were also simple because they didn't try to do a fucking trading card game with a ton of different combinations and strategy and things, which, like, from a design perspective, is probably one of the hardest things you could possibly do. Right. And so it's like taking the design of an MMORPG and it's your core game loop. But this designs like this is you just add something. Was it fun? Yeah. Okay. Lean into it. No. Okay. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Yeah. 100%.
Like much simpler. But this stuff's not as glamorous. But also, if you charge $5 on your phone for this, a lot of people would pay for it just as like a fidget spinner, right?
Yeah, and so that's actually what I'm going to do with this. I'm gonna put Makko assets in it at one point. I think I'm actually just going to use all static assets. I don't think I'm going to use animations. I might, maybe I'll put something behind it, but I'm going to go build a bunch of Makko assets to, like, you know, make the background an actual like thing you're climbing with different settings in the background, or look and feel in the background. I'm going to make actually, you can do some of this now.
Honestly, I would try to challenge yourself to not use an animation for this one, because I think that's a really good game design.
Well, so, yeah, like I would just use enemies or something that are like bouncing if they're highlighted in the air or something, like just like a 2 or 3 frame animation, but like it should be very, very minimal.
And yeah, I've got like different guys I can use here. Like I just added some easy skins in here, right? Like, but this is all just like mobile, right? Like you could like just having progression where you can unlock different climbers and different nodes for them to climb on, right? This guy's got a little trail you can see. So like, yeah. Anyway, this is I thought you'd get a kick out of this, Jeremy, because it is definitely in the lens of, through the lens of, like, it's super simple. The core loop's going to be super fun and addicting, and then I'm going to start making it look good here in the next, like, you know, couple of days. But we did this. Hazel and I did this in like an hour, 2 hours.
So this is also a great example of, do you need to go super deep on a game right away? And I think the answer is absolutely not. I think one of the things AI buys us, and by the way, this is something a lot of the indies we've talked to are very interested, is like, you need to have 10, 20, 30 ideas, try them out.
Just going. Yeah.
Yeah. The general process is you prototype them. Are they fun? And you should be able to prototype just like this. And this is where AI is immensely valuable, is you can prototype just like this. You don't need to go spend a ton of money generating art and all this crazy stuff. Like, you should be able to get a game that's fun with shapes. And of course, that doesn't mean that's your final product or anything. But if it's not fun with shapes,
it's never going to be fun.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be fun when you add assets. Like, and so, like, that's where go prototype some stuff and see which one excites you the most. Because, like, especially if you're like first game trading card games, I always go back to it. They're fun and exciting, and people have done some crazy stuff with it, and it's trendy,
hard as shit.
But they're very hard, and it's very hard to know, is it fun? And these games, it's real easy. It's like, when you're bored, do you want to come do it? Yeah.
Yeah. This is the other one we were working on. Ashley or Hazel really wanted to do. My kid's 10. They wanted to do something with more violence in it, like some sort of fight. And so this is it's effectively freeze tag, but the fiction is that you're on fire, and the only way to put yourself out is to make someone else be on fire. And so these enemies pop up and try to chase you, and if they catch you, they set you on fire, and you have this, like, the time in this ring to go set them back on fire.
It's awesome. It's like hot potato and
yep, and then
mixed together. Yeah.
And then if they burn out, they create these little boxes, which just basically, like, start making the environment either more interesting to go through or harder once you get a bunch of them. So anyway, these are just 2 examples, Jeremy, that I thought that you'd be like, oh man, Tony's actually listening to me.
There we go.
All right. Well, let me get back to the. So next week, guys, we got a bunch of good feedback here. Next week, I'm going to spend, or this week, I'm going to spend some time on sector scavengers, working through the encounters and making them feel more like you're actually fighting the environment, using turns for the environment to actually express damage or express progression as if it were a user, or it were an entity in the game, as opposed to just this soulless thing. The goal there is to make it feel less like you're just clicking buttons without any reason, and make it feel more like you every card has a consequence or a choice. And then I'm going to continue to pull up thwap and fwoosh as Hazel and I work through them, but they'll probably get less love because Hazel's going to the Bahamas here in a couple of days. So with that, I'd love to, before we transition to Rift Runners, I'd love to spend some time with Jeremy, just talking about any of the recent changes that you've made or that you're making. You know, you said you pushed some stuff
Hey,
today.
can we take a break real quick and I go to the bathroom and
do yeah,
all that stuff?
We will take a 5-minute break, everyone, and we'll be back.
Sounds good. See you soon.
I asked in chat if you guys were good to go, but you guys didn't see it, so I just pulled us on. I made the decision.
I needed one more minute in our 5 minutes now.
Cool. Well, let's dive in. We were gonna can you hear me, Jeremy?
Well, you guys are putting me on when I'm clearly not ready for the stream, so you guys should stop doing that.
Sorry, my bad. I hit the chat and I asked if we were good to go, and I was going like this. I thought you guys were good.
Yeah, I didn't have my headphones on. My mic wasn't in front of me. There's some tells there.
Oh yeah, good call. I didn't think about that. All right. So are we good? Are we good to go?
Sure.
Or do you want to go back on break for a second?
No, I mean, it's fine. I was just writing some emails and stuff.
Oh, whoops.
Strongly worded to Amazon, to AWS.
That is definitely, I said, I was explaining everything for the 4th time, and I said, this is all kind of crazy. I can just use it on my Google account, Open Router, Cloud account. I was just trying to leverage some of our AWS credits and give Bedrock some usage, but it seems like this is kind of a nightmare, and I should just use other services.
Whoa.
Like, at this point, I don't even know what to, like, when they are giving us free money, essentially,
and we can't use it.
It's such a nightmare. Like, I don't even understand. Like, literally, I'm just like, what? And I'm a fucking dev, right? Like, what? I just don't even.
Well, let's dive into.
Here, let me send them. Oh. Let me send them the actual.
Jeremy's going to send him a picture of his middle finger.
Yeah, but it's an AI generated middle finger from Makko.
Yeah, I like sent him the actual error, and like I just like, bro, I don't. Whew, I don't know. They're just annoying, very annoying. All right, so we'll go through some. We'll run through the features real quick. I mean, you've seen Tony. You've seen Tony using one of them, which was Google Gemini 3.6. So I won't go over that. Well, we can go over it real quick here. Let me go to Prod first. So, you know, you can show the. I'm working on enabling Sonnet 5 and Opus 4.8, but we don't really have any use. They're broken right now, but we don't. Tony's the only one that uses it, so it's not that big a deal. But you can just say, like, make a Tetris game.
You know, I haven't actually been using Claude that much recently. I've been sticking to GLM.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper, and Sonnet 5 is a little bit better than GLM 5 too. So that might be a reason when we get it working, but like now at this point, 3.6 Flash, so I can pull up the benchmarks that I use. Get all my random Bing articles. So you can see, just clear these out. GLM, we can do Sonnet 5. What in the world? Oh, there we go. Excellent. We can do Chemi K27 code. We can do Opus 4.8. Table. We can do okay, so Gemini 3.6 Flash. All right, so these are generally our models. I don't add Minimax in for shits and giggles, which Minimax benchmarks higher in Chemi K27. I don't. That's one in my personal experience I do not believe at all. But you can see these are. Let's go to the coding index. Oh, there we go. That was on the overall intelligent. For the coding index, which is what we care about, Chemi is better than Minimax, but Minimax, for as cheap as it is, was like really good. You can see GLM 5.2 is now, according to the benchmarks, worse than Opus and Sonnet, which I believe. This Gemini 3.6 is a little up for debate, I would say. But it's at least like roughly the same. So they're the same price, roughly the same. So that's why I say like use one or the other and use which ones you enjoy. But I mean, you can also, Gemini is so much faster that if you want to index that way, that's a good solution. But it's going through and it's reviewing that Tetris game. But we can just show you how quick it does it. But yeah, we'll test Opus and Sonnet 5 on the platform. The big thing here is like, okay, so we got our Tetris game. Cool. If you look at the credits, you can see Sonnet and Opus are dramatically more, and Sonnet 5 is technically the same price as Sonnet 4.6 was, but it's more expensive because it uses more tokens, which is always a fun thing. And then Opus is quite a bit more expensive. So when you look at these benchmarks, the question starts to become, Sonnet is over 2x more expensive than 3.6 Flash, which is why I don't really care that these are broken, by the way. I've debated adding them or not, but they're easy enough to add that whatever. But you can see like 3.6 Flash, it's almost as good as Sonnet 5, and almost as good as Opus 4.8. So it's like, it's within 10%. Now, we will not add this because it is ungodly expensive, but the big step up is actually Fable is quite a bit better than Opus yet. So now you're getting to like over 10%. So that's where I start to say it's like quite a bit better, but Opus or Fable is twice as expensive as Opus. So that's why we didn't add Fable. Also, if it's this much of a nightmare to get access to Opus and Sonnet, I don't even know on the other stuff, but anyways,
I'm definitely on some sort of list that's going to make it so we can't get Fable, but
probably. I'm interested to see what AWS says this time. It's like I don't want them to like say, like, here's what's crazy is like, I don't want them to be like, oh, they literally this last time they said, oh, you just need to call this API, and I'm like, are you shitting me? You want me to call an API to enable something in the UI for like, you guys, how about you call that API on my behalf? I'm not calling that API. Like, you guys are crazy. It's like just as easy for me to convert over to another platform. And it's funny because our AWS rep is like, no one's using Bedrock. And it's like, I wonder why. But anyway, so we're just doing the Gemini Tetris test. This is a test that I do often. I don't have a ton of templates for Tetris in here, so actually it only used one, which is, there's more than one, but it only used one. So let's see. Yeah, it's almost done already. So just fixing build errors now.
Dude, Gemini is perfect for streams or like any just good vibe that you're trying to get.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I've been saying this for a long time that LLMs are getting smart enough now. And the next big thing is definitely going to be speed, because so this same workflow. So this is why I say I would just use, if it's me, I just use Gemini, because so GLM 5.2 is like, I think it's actually better than Flash. Like I think there's some benchmarking going on here because you have to use some judgment, but I actually think it's better Gemini Flash. The problem here is like, how much better? Is it drastically better? Probably not. If we look at intelligence, 5.2 scores better on intelligence, which is probably why and for games, intelligence matters a lot. That's your math, all that stuff. So 5.2 at least is like close-ish, but it's the same price now so this was a big deal with Gemini 3.6 Flash is they reduced the price quite a bit. It was like almost like a 40% reduction. So now, but you come in and look here, right? This is our Tetris game we got in what, 5 minutes? Very good.
Yeah, the tile screen looks pretty cool.
Very
and like
good.
it looks clean. The UI is nice.
And this is, this is using the same templating and libraries and things that any of our other games do. It's just, but it was fast. And like Gemini probably, or GLM 5.2, Sonnet, those would probably be good. Here's the other thing about Gemini, which depending on who you are and what you want is very annoying, but it can be very good. So Gemini, and this is like a long-standing thing that it's done, basically doesn't, if you don't give it instructions, it makes shit up. So that can be really bad if you know specifically what you want to do. But if you kind of just want to go on vibes, it can be very, very good, right? So like for this Tetris game, it did a bunch of stuff that like we did not even remotely tell it to do, but it makes it feel good because you just on vibes. So that's something to consider too. If you want it to do specifically what you tell it to, do not use Gemini. But if you like it to fill in the blanks with just random shit, use Gemini. But Gemini will do what you tell it to. It will also just make a bunch of implications. But anyways, yeah, like this game looks very good for a Tetris game. Like, I did I think I deleted it. Yeah, I deleted it. I did a Vampire Survivor. So this is how I do my tests. So like, let's do another one. Tower defense is a common one. Let's see. Let's make a voxel-based tower defense game. Voxel-based 2D tower defense game. Have at least 3 unit types. Make it look super clean. Just see what it does. But yeah, okay. So while that's going, just to show off that, another thing that I've been working on is, so Google Omni is the VO successor. Came out like a couple months ago, but it wasn't exposed in the API till recently. So I've been messing around with getting that integrated, and it's actually generally quite a bit better. It's still not perfect. I'm working on some prompt magic, but you can like see like just this guy's sword attack is really good. It's just going up, bleeding off the screen. Attack animations have been a thing that VO, let's see, that's still Omni. It was a broken one, but you can see VO is like exceptionally bad at it. Yeah. That's what this one is. And now the unfortunate thing is VO is better at visual consistency than Omni is, because let's see, so I can just come up here. So you can see it's not that she's bad, it's that if you go, and also that attack's a little wonky, but if you come, it's supposed to be like a vector art. So Omni is not near as good at getting very specific styles. It's also not good at getting very specific backgrounds, but I'm also generating some of these. Let's do like gunshots or something, like front facing, shoot gunshots towards viewport, dual wield. This will be quite a bit faster, and it's a little bit cheaper, which is nice because it's only they can do down to 3 seconds, which is actually a big thing for us because we actually don't want long animations. We talked about that earlier. And you can use reference and not generate a first frame. So this is where this gets a little fuzzy, because reference is relying on the video model versus your image models to generate. Like, image models are a lot better at forcing visual consistency, whereas Here, let's actually just generate both of these so we can compare them.
Do you think video models will get better at that consistency as time goes on? And this is just a good option?
Yeah, for sure it'll get better. So like, and this is not bad, but what this is like this actual animation is dramatically better for attacking. And so once again, this is the character. It's just, it doesn't get the art exactly correct, but the thing is, and this is why I think for a lot of people this will be dramatically better anyways. And actually, let's go ahead and do one. Why did it? Let's go ahead and do one for VO also with the exact same settings so we can compare. But see, like once you get it in here to like game size, you don't need it. But also the special effects, this is what I love about Omni, and I think it's dramatically better for this use case, is the special effects do not have the aliasing bleed that VO has. So you can see these special effects clean up very nicely.
The smoke is so good.
Yeah, the character cleans up very nicely. That is not a revision on our cleaning software. That is, so what AI video models do is they bleed colors really poorly. Omni does not do that. But Omni can't do 1080p. There's some downsides, but the reality is like, this might be something that I would want. Let's resample it. Maybe I want for my Vampire Survivors clone.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense for like a lower resolution for a Vampire Survivor type game, like a 2D low res game.
Yeah, so like
many details like this animation right here, the eyes are a little bit different than the reference sheet that you're using. But you can't even tell from here. All you know is that it's a lady with 2 guns and red hair and a jacket.
Yeah, this would be a big deal for a cutscene, but for this sort of thing. So really, we just need to go probably delete all of these. Yeah, there you go. So that's like perfect, right? So like if I was a Vampire Survivor clone just like walking around and then shooting and stuff was flying out, that would be very, 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 very good, right? And so, and it's just coming out of the box like ready to go, much cleaner. So here is the first frame. So actually, Omni just really doesn't like this style either. So there's that. So she's actually not that much better. So Omni still changed the style, even though the first frame was the same. And actually, maybe Gemini or someone's struggling with getting that exact style. But anyways, this is the big thing. So actually, VO looks closer to the visual style and the face and everything. However, it's fucking terrible.
This looks wild.
Terrible. So anyways, I really like Omni. We're lighting this up today. I'm just got a couple of edits. I might just send it live. Because the thing I'm trying to clean up, it's like so much better, but the weapons and stuff going out of the top of frame. That's what I'm trying to clean up right now. But the animations and stuff are so much better that and even let's just say, let's do Omni without a first frame. Just take this guy, right? With no, let's just say, let's do a side view. Let's just use a attack. Let's just see what it does for attack. So since he has a sword and everything, and actually this vector art, to be honest, there's not a ton of training data. So this is probably like not a great thing. Let's try her too. Let's just do. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is building our tower defense game. And these are just default attack side view. So I didn't do anything special here. It's also like, it's a lot faster to generate videos since they're cheaper and you're not doing the image model. The image step of generating first frame, it's 10 credits and it's also just slow. So you can iterate a lot faster. Oh, here you go. Yeah, like default attack animation. So he's got his sword here. And actually one thing we'll do with Omni is like video iteration. So like he should not have a sword at his pocket there, right? So like, but I have a hard time expressing how many hours I've spent trying to get our attack animations and stuff just to be this clean. And Omni just it's a better video model.
I think that's a great example of like how the magic that you've written into Makko is pretty good, and that a better model can improve your results.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is basically swapping out the model. So then, so for example, this looks nothing like this girl. So it's generally the same, but it's not. So like, here's what I would do here is I would actually retry it with a first frame to force the video model or the image model to actually generate the first frame for her. So it's actually crazy, right? Because like it did a freaking great job with this guy. I mean, but the problem once again is it's not exactly the same art style.
And he put his other arm in the sleeve of his jacket.
Yeah.
He's just a little colder in that animation.
I don't know how that would work with an attack animation. But the thing is like once you get it down here to game, and once again, this is where things don't need to be perfect. I'm sure you guys have heard perfect is the enemy of good, but for video games, it is very much that way. So, and then a little bit of the green got left in the bleed there. So like, we would want to go back and make sure that the special effects are more solid. Because you can see there's translucence, and then cleaning this green is really hard to translucence. Also, there's really, for a video game swipe, there's no reason to leave it transparent like that. You might as well just have actual whites, because no one's going to notice that.
Right. Yeah. Just make it opaque, or just take it out and add something else later.
All right, so here you go. First frame. This is an example of first frame. I don't know why I did the olive green, but outside of that, now the character actually looks like it. But here's the fun thing is like these models I've realized kind of suck at first frame animation. So it's still dramatically better. So we could clean this up. Actually, let's see if that olive green cleans. I don't know why I randomly did an olive green.
Yeah, so we noticed what references? Oh yeah, so you didn't use a reference sheet for it. So yeah. I think it's some interpretation data on the styling of the background or of the reference image itself that's causing it to fade the green.
Yeah, luckily for this girl, it doesn't matter. So it's because she doesn't have any green in her. But so once again, her sword goes off, but like say we just want that first slash. Let's get all of these gone. And this is where Omni is just way better. Before you had to like piece stuff together. So it's just a slash. So we also don't want that load up. The load up.
That was insane. Claude opened something in Claude, and it started talking. It was like a video of someone talking about game design, and I couldn't find it in Claude. And so I just had 3 people talking in my ear, Jeremy and these 2 guys talking about game design. And so I had to go to my volume mixer and just mute Claude off. That was insane. That was what it's like to be in the mind of a crazy person, I guess.
All right, there we go. So we got a slash now. I'm going to speed it up. Oh, that's too fast. And then so this is actually one where, what did I resample? Oh, it's resampled to 24. So now let's resample down to 4. That's too low. This is another one where the animation actually looks bad because it's resampled too high.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe even try 12. Now we can speed it up just a little bit more. And actually, now that we got this, yeah. So like so here's the other thing in a video game, right? So like a lot of the load up and natural stuff you don't really need. So like now we can actually slow it down a little bit. Like if you were just doing like a regular attack animation where you just wanted to go bam, 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 like something like this would be really good. So anyways, Omni is getting much more natural animations. The shooting one is such a huge, like this, we could not get shooting animation like this before. And it looks so freaking good, right? First one, right? Like I didn't even, and I'm still tweaking on some of this. I'll probably get it live today where it's like not perfect yet, just because I think it's so much better. And I think people are going to want to use it. Yeah. And now what this won't be good for is like cutscenes and things, because it's not, which we don't support quite yet, but you wouldn't want like a big chat bubble, because this doesn't look using this model, because this looks nothing like it. But now, interestingly, it did the vector art on this chick way, way, way better than it did. And maybe that's because it had the entire image, and maybe, you know, it's actually interesting. Maybe we need a style palette reference image too, not just, all right, I haven't tried anime style. Let's do this. Let's try jump. Let's try, we'll do first frame and so, also, let me see if I got it somewhere. This is actually a big deal, even though this looks kind of wonky still. We have not ever been able to get these models to do flips, and it's actually a flip. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look natural yet, but this is actually a pretty good test for the models. The only one I've gotten to be able to do any sort of flip is Sea Dance.
But that's dramatically better. Like even like episode 1 or whenever we're trying to do like Rift Runner animations where he was doing a wall jump or sliding or whatever, that was very difficult to get something that looked remotely natural.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, this jump is actually really good. So, yeah, man, I'm telling you, here, I want to try something. Mario jump. But wait, did I have? Oh, God damn it!
That's like a jump for joy. That's a good one.
So this one went off frame again. Yeah. I also had the wrong thing selected. So let's see, Mario jump. Let's just do reference. Do them both again. I had both people selected, and it prioritized the reference image as it should. But like this jump is actually like, oh man, the Omni is just so much better at these action movements. And so this is also kind of with Makko, like we'll keep getting better, and all your references and everything over time. The second a new models releases, you can just, generate these things immediately with the new models and just use all your other tool sets, which is like one of the. So actually, for the jump in a game, you don't need the landing. You just really need the fall state. So like maybe that, because what you would do is you would lock the fall state. And you probably don't need the wind up either. You probably can just go here. Let's delete these first 4.
Yeah, like you don't need a perfect transition from idle to jump or run to jump.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this is really good. And then we probably don't want that many frames. And actually, with the jump, you probably want apex until you start falling, and then you want it to, so you would like want to lock it at frame 10 until you hit the apex, and then as you fall, play the second half and then lock. Actually, we don't want landing. We want these last 3 gone. And then lock in this down position. We don't want that. So you would, yeah. Here you go. So you'd lock here. So you got the cloak and stuff spread out like you're falling. And actually, no, I don't think that would look good. I was like, could you? So, but yeah, then you would, because this is all happening so fast in the game that you would, yeah, there you go. There's your game jump. I mean, I'm telling you, this is like so much better than what it's been.
Yeah, that looks really, really good.
So, okay, anime style, that was first frame. That failed miserably. So it does not like this photorealistic. All right, now I actually just want to see this real quick. What if we do this?
So what do you think the AI models are trained the most on art style wise?
Oh, they're not trained on art styles. They're trained on photorealism.
Gotcha.
So they're all going after Hollywood. So like that is what they're like. There's been a couple of models that are supposed to be refined on 2D art and stuff, but they're for the most part going after photorealistic in Hollywood because that's where the huge money is at. All right, so here we go. Voxel core defense. Oh, yeah, this actually happened the other day when I tried a voxel game. The renderers and stuff, it bugged out a lot, but we'll fix them real quick.
Tony, you're muted.
Voxel core defense. Have you seen Panda's game recently?
No,
Yes.
I haven't.
It's incredible. He has built a Pokemon battler inside of Minecraft, a voxel Minecraft world, all on Makko. It's incredible. He was flying around on a dragon yesterday.
We want to, like, I know last week we talked about wanting to show off some of the things that the community has made. So maybe we should get a couple more, like.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have those ready, Brandon.
Yeah, damn it.
Okay, so there's definitely some bugs here.
Oh, this looks, this might be, I'm not going to do this for the next video, but this might be an art style that resonates for the internets, maybe for YouTube, as opposed to the top-down flat.
Yeah. So the models are pretty good at voxel stuff. All right, now I'm like actually really curious how it drew all this because it looks like it's drawing 3D, but renderers. Here we go. Canon render. Man, that's crazy. It's like actually drawing these in 2D. Sorry, that's pretty wild.
Good perspective. That kind of reminds me of the original SimCity too, where it was a totally two-dimensional game, but it looked like it was 3D.
Yeah, now the towers are not rendering in the right direction. But yeah, it's like this is actually
even like the little shadows are really well done.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, this is Gemini. I mean, you with some work, this was a one shot. So with some work, you could definitely, this is also where, yeah, fucking put it way out here. It's not where I put it.
It's in between grids.
No, I mean, I put it here and it's just putting it in random places. See all these down here. That huge bug. Anyways, pretty good for one shot, I would say. But yeah, I mean, those are basically the big changes. Honestly, I don't know any reason you would actually want to use Sonnet or Opus at this point. But hopefully Opus 5 will come soon and we can get some of that going out. So yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate the update.
we are coming up here at the last 30 minutes of the show. And so I was going to shoot it over to Brandon to walk us through some of the updates on Rift Runners and what you've moved through, and then we can talk a little bit about. Probably won't have a whole lot of time to build stuff, but we might, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna show off next week as well. So with that, I'll pass it to you, Brandon.
Yeah, sounds great. And just a quick shout out. I just got a text message from my brother. Him and his wife just had their first baby about 30 minutes ago.
Congrats!
Yeah,
shout out to baby, Bracho baby.
That's right. Yeah, so Rift Runners, we made a little bit of progress on it since last time that we were speaking. So I don't know, I'm just going to go through, I guess, some of the things that I've worked on off screen and kind of demo that out. So we updated the tutorial that we have right here a little bit. So nothing crazy right here, but when we were jumping through the last time, I thought the jump was a little weird, where we wouldn't always connect to the wall, or we accidentally added a timeout on the wall slide down, so it would disconnect if you just wanted to slide down the wall and just auto disconnect from the wall. So you can slide down, or you can disconnect yourself if you press away from the wall. So added that functionality. Also, we had before, it was a set velocity when you're jumping off of the wall. So if I jump. So before, there was no way to really adjust your movement while you're mid-jump, and so I added velocity to that, so it feels a little bit better. So as you're falling off a wall jump or moving within a wall jump, you can interrupt that. You can go, you can be more precise when you're trying to get onto a platform.
Does that work with all jumping or just the wall jumping?
Just the wall jumping had it set. So like if you're jumping off there, that was the only thing that you could do before the fix. Yep. And now I can adjust and go back mid-jump.
But like jump in the air, jump right. Can you turn yourself going back left if you jump right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was always there.
Oh, got it. Okay. It just didn't work with the wall jump.
Just didn't work with this. Yeah. Yeah. So we also, last stream, we talked about how we wanted to transition between eras. And so you still press tab to swap eras, but I added something called a swap zone. So if I go into Godot, into our little intro level here, we now have like swap zone first swap zone platforms, like different swap areas. Because before it felt a little weird that you can just constantly swap between eras. Like I'm hitting tab right now, nothing's happening. But then I move over here to the first zone, and now I can swap. And you can kind of see that we have, we have a big old sign right now because this is the very first instance of it. But these different colored tiles here are from the other era. And so when you swap, it goes to the other era. We can change that if we want it to all be like era 2. We'll say that the orange one's era 2, the blue one's era 1. And so it swaps between eras. And this is what we've decided to kind of let somebody know that there is another thing to do here. You can swap to a different era to unblock your path or solve a puzzle or do whatever. So we added that. A cool thing about that is if I go back to Godot, we have all of our tile map layers over here and our node 2Ds that are on top of that, the parents of our tile map layers. So like last time we were going around and we're like trying to edit by hand all of these levels, but we were struggling going between eras, only editing one era or the other. And so I refactored it a little bit. So if we close era 1 and era 2, we have this shared node 2D right now with a shared tile map layer. And so this is our core level right here. This will never change no matter what area you're in. And so we can just go in and add whatever we want, change whatever we want, and it'll always be there. Then we have our node 2D for era 2. And so you can kind of see where we swap with our slide, which is also new. you kind of hide it. And so you have error 1 visible, error 2 visible. You hide error 2, like, so you can kind of just swap between it. And so Godot, I did do a little bit of research on how it would be easy to swap from error to error to error. And the easiest built-in thing without a custom like add-in tool are these visibility toggles. And then just being smart about the shared layer right here. So you're not just reduplicating every single thing for every era.
Nice. So we've got basically while you were out in between streams, we've effectively finished the first, like the shape of the first level. We've added a couple of time swaps and puzzles, and now we are going to spend some time making sure those feel good.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through the rest of this level to show the new aspects of this intro area. And then, yeah, I think we just need to make that decision to say, hey, is there anything that we need to add for this vertical? Something that we were talking about earlier is like, this is a very basic game. Do we need to add anything to make it fun according to our core pillars? Like one thing that we're missing right now in our core pillars is exploration. We're just kind of going through a brief intro level right now. Do we want to add an offshoot to explore to collect one of these collectibles up here? And so I think we should be able to make a decision on if this game is fun and how it differs from a game like Celeste. So I'll just continue to go through this level just real quick. It's a quick 60-second level if you're just running through it. But I wanted to add a couple different... so we just taught the player how to swap eras right here. And so the very next puzzle, you can skip through this if you wanted to, but like, how do you get that piece up top? Is that you actually look at the tile down here and you see that it's from the other era. And it's like, oh, maybe I should swap to the other era. And hey, a new platform is here. And so now you can easily get that collectible, that sub node. I think another thing is that we didn't have sliding, or no, I think we did have sliding last time.
We had sliding, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But we did not have dashing. And so we have a quick little puzzle right here for dashing. It's not very punishing at all. We do have a respawn point. That's like right there at the sign. If you get hit, like if you get crushed. And so you can try to time it, go dash, and then you succeed right there. But I wanted to make sure that we had another movement action in our tutorial here because we were missing a couple. And then this one right here is our air dash. And so you should be able to jump, hit shift, dash to this platform right here, and then do that again there. And so the gap is big enough to where, well, you can double jump if you want. And if you fall down, you have to start over. So we can adjust that too. But there's multiple ways to platform, and air dashing is a good one for that. Yeah, and so here there's no sign. We have the little hints here for the what I'm calling an era bleed. And so you do that, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And you have to go back to this era and trigger the wall jump. I made the zone too close to the ground, so there we go. Yep. So now at this point, the player should be able to identify that there's different tiles and that you need to change it to go to the different eras. And then there you go. So that's the whole level right there.
I like it.
Yeah. So is there, based off of our pillars that I can bring up to...
Yeah, I feel like I still don't feel like I'm like discovering anything.
Yep. So to do something quick, because we don't, do you think that we should add an offshoot maybe down here or over here?
Well, is an offshoot the right thing? Like what are the different mechanisms we can use to express discovery and exploration? Offshoots are ones, secret areas above or below the the visible or expected gameplay area, unlocks or secret areas that have a thing in them, a MacGuffin in them of some sort. A different perspective, right? Like some games you stand on a ledge and it lets you kind of like pan the perspective and see it differently. What are other exploration discovery things?
Yeah, I like so I mean, obviously this is something that we can think through. We can ask AI about too to see if we want if they have any ideas. But I do think that like, yeah, a puzzle would be great if you could solve it and then it would open up a secret area, right?
Jeremy, what do you think? He's muted. He hates us.
Oh, I was saying I wasn't paying attention. I'm trying to get this stuff live.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You guys, yeah, I don't know. What was the question?
we ran through the level. It looks good. The thing we're struggling with is it doesn't really feel like we're discovering anything or like exploring. We're just like running through a platformer level. And so we were talking about the different ways that we might express discovery or exploration. Brandon suggested like a hidden room above or below the level. I suggested that we might look at different items you might pick up, or like an area where you see the level differently or have a different perspective. And then I thought for 40 seconds and asked you what you thought.
So, well, this is the tutorial. So I guess the question is, do you need that in the tutorial level? I think it's supposed to be super fast and get you into the real game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would ask the different question before going to exploration. Is this fun yet? Like, when I watch,
do you want to run through this over and over again?
Yeah, when I like watch you play, it seems kind of like, yeah, there's mechanics. They work. Are they fun mechanics? Like, do you have fun playing?
Yeah, I think like my favorite is this dash, this slide right here, because it makes me feel like I can get a good flow if I know the game. And then I do like a jump dash to a double jump dash. That feels good. And this is okay for a puzzle, but it does slow you down a little bit. And then, yeah, this mechanic right here is just the roadblock, which, yeah, it only feels okay. But I do like this too. It's like, hey, I know that there's something up there.
How do you lose?
Well, yeah, we don't have that yet. Oh, I can get up here.
Yeah, it's a tutorial level. So yeah, it's just teaching you.
Yeah.
Well, because like what I would say when it comes to like exploration, it's like if we generally feel good, like this teaches you all the movement or whatever. So start crafting a level that's actually like a level that's not completely linear and obvious and easy. And because like the way I would think about exploration is your levels are going to be big, like Ori, right? Like they're going to be like, they're not going to be these small levels. So you can worry about like collectibles and stuff later. But even the most fundamental thing is it should be a dynamic level with lots of directions, and there's a boss puzzle or something somewhere
different ways to get through the level, and then different challenges in the level. Yeah.
So like that would be what I would say. The next thing is like start crafting your interesting level, not your tutorial level.
Yeah. Tony and I talked about it a little bit, and we're like, should we add on to this or create like a new level over here? Sounds like you're suggesting that we want to create something outside of the intro level, because when you do collect that that rift key, it does automatically take you back to that bounty board, that level selector. So I think, Tony, does that make sense to you to like create a new level on there, try to make it?
That.
I also think the bounty board is like probably needs to go away. Like
I don't think it makes sense in the current fiction.
Right. Yeah, that was just a part of the first tech demo. where yeah, we can make it go away. We can auto load right into this level, and then when you collect the rift key, just take you to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, you can leave it as a level select. That's fine, but I think outside the tutorial, and maybe eventually you move this into the big, like, and maybe you just want to keep building off of this.
Yeah, that was Tony's suggestion, to build off of this intro level, which I kind of like too, because that way, if we're really looking at like the whole level too, like we can move this rift key around wherever we want to end the level there.
Well, I don't know why you're still talking about ending the level. Like that's not fundamentally what the game is, right? Like it's like you're just going to expand it and add a huge.
Yeah, we're gonna add things to do. I would say we should think about verticality in addition to left and right, right? So like levels above, levels below, and then like
something you might do is draw it out first.
I was just gonna say that maybe we should like with like our hands draw it.
Yes, that's why I bought. This is literally why I bought a Remarkable. Is like what I would be doing is I would be drawing this all out and then just transferring it over to the LLM and saying like, here's essentially the map. Can you lay out a level or extend the level to this format or whatever? That's what I would be doing. But
I do like that. I do not have a Remarkable, but I can.
You have pen and paper.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
You got a camera.
Yep, exactly. So draw it, take a picture, and then give it to the LLM. I think that sounds good. I think I'll do that outside of the stream, though, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're down to the last 12 minutes here, buddy.
So last 12 minutes, I mean, we don't have to do much editing here, but I just want to get kind of a good direction. And it sounds like we have a great direction here on drawing, getting that into the LLM on how to expand this level. Like I'll have the idea as the game designer on what I think is fun, what kind of puzzles, platformers to do. So I'll do a little bit of research too on what types of platforms make sense to expand on based off of our existing mechanics that we have here. And also I want to add a type of puzzle too. And because I do like the little exploratory like offshoots, very basic, probably won't have a lot of them. They'll have collectibles at the end of them, no dead ends, because I don't think having a dead end is fun for anyone. But then probably a puzzle that can unlock an area, and then a couple more challenges on platforming that flow well together. And I think what we want to do is get a 6-minute long experience for our first level. I think that's a good amount. And this is assuming a little bit of exploration and not knowing the layout and speeding through it. Does all that sound accurate?
Where'd the 6 minutes come from? That just feels long to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, so I did a little deep research on kind of what would make a fun type of first level. And it was comparing games like Celeste and Titanfall 2, even though it's a 3D game, and Braid. And all of them have, they introduced their mechanics like we are, which is great. But then their first level experience was around 6 to 9 minutes in their around that range to get the player excited. But then it also focuses around a specific mechanic that makes it challenging for that level. So that's kind of what I want to think through. Like, how can we utilize era swaps? How can we utilize like the era bleeds that the player has learned to switch eras? Like how can you do all that? So that is something that I think, like, putting on a game designer hat, you need to just think down, maybe bounce some ideas off of people around you, like Tony or Jeremy, or even just go into Claude sometimes just to get a rubric for how you want to think about things.
I love that. You know, talking about a rubric for how you want to think about things. Jeremy, you're absolutely right about this Claude exercise. I'm so excited to run you guys through it next week for Sector Scavengers, but it just came back with a four bullet point core questions to the spec, and it's so good. What does the room do back? So like, how does it attack back? How does it defend? Whatever. What behavior does the room punish or reward? What's the efficiency gradient? So like, can you beat the room if you're not efficient? And how does that impact further runs? And then what is the room's question? What is the one sentence puzzle statement? Which I think is the strongest piece of this. So it's been researching for a little bit now, but I'm excited to see what it comes back with.
Yeah, and
28 agents.
Yeah, that's where like I think the biggest thing to remember is if you can't describe it on paper, you definitely can't describe it in a game, right? And I know it's not as glamorous, but if you want to make good games, you got to learn how to explain it on paper.
I'm telling you, thwop and fwoosh are my go-to examples now, because I started with onomatopoeia, right? And I was just like, I want a game that resembles a children's game that embraces the onomatopoeia thwop or fwoosh. And then it came up with thwop was the hold and release, and fwoosh was the light people on fire. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that this method is awesome. I think it'll be great once we have the design tool in place, because right now I feel like our tool, the way that you're introduced to the workflow, is kind of in tension with this, right? Because like even our tool is still like a chat box, right? So you start off and you're like, just like, let's build something. And it's I think that the design pipeline that you're building is really going to help people start with like what we're talking about. Like, in one sentence, tell me why anyone would want to play this thing. And then let's wrap everything we're doing around that.
Right. Well, the correct flow is you design, then you build, and there is no design tool. So it drops you in and it assumes you know what the design is and you're going to build it. Right.
Yeah,
and eventually we resolve that by building the correct pipeline. If you have a bunch of design artifacts, great, drop that in, we'll use them. But for now, the tool is still a build, not a design. So, I mean, it doesn't mean you can't fill in the blanks or try to hack around that, but ultimately it is that is what it is. So.
Yeah, anything that you do around documentation right now is truly a hack. Like, you're creating a markdown documents and having the LLM read them, which we know isn't incredibly efficient, but it's better than nothing. Right.
Well, yeah, and here's what we came up with for the Rift Runners game design here, and it has exactly, Tony, what you're talking about with sector scavengers, where we were writing down elevator pitch, kind of our core verbs. Yeah, and then our pillars that we wanted to
see. Now that I've done this, though, I think we should revisit this. Now that I've done this for Thwop and Fwoosh and had this conversation with Jeremy, because like I look at this now and I actually don't think we have a core verb
for Rift Runners.
Yeah, like what is the verb? Is it read? Like, what is the one?
Right. Yeah, I think it's actually changed from read the word worlds tells.
Right.
So
yeah.
Like we do have a lot of tells in the game. Like we have all of these tiles here that are changing.
But I think getting back to like the fun part though, I think the verb is run, right? Like you're running.
Yeah.
That is the reason I say that, and we can pick another verb, right? Maybe discover could be the verb, but if the verb is truly run, then we want to lean into the puzzles and the platformer experiences that make it so the best player who understands the game could run from one end to the other as quickly as possible, using all the mechanics that we've built. And a person who is playing the game in such a way that they would take longer to get through the level is less likely to be successful. And like the simple way to do that would just be to add a timer to every level. I don't think we should do that, but I think we should like make the environment and the optimal path. Like, great example. If we have 3 paths, top, middle, and bottom, right now, let's call the one we have a middle path. The middle path could be the one that is just like, if you don't know how to play the game well, you can get through it, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to feel like you're running through the level. The top is hard, and if you're really good, it's going to feel like the middle one and feel rewarding if you're really good. And the bottom one is like, if you're awesome at the game, you're just running through it, right? Again, that's not where we would land, but I think, again, if we really nail down on the core verb, those are the kind of design discussions we can have.
Yeah, for sure.
But then it's not exploration. So I feel like what you guys started with was that you wanted an exploration game, but
Yeah.
that is opposite of run. Because running games aren't really exploration games; they're just run and dodge shit, right?
Yeah. It's that true. It's like actual skill. So again, so maybe it's not run. Like, but my point is, it's definitely not read, right?
It's definitely not read.
It is definitely not read. That is not the. Some games might be fun where the core verb is to read, but that wasn't the purpose of this one. So again, maybe it's explore, maybe it's discover. Those feel
I think it's like flow. I think I keep on going back to the word of flow. And like I do, like kind of what you're saying is like you can flow better. If you're better at the game, you can flow better in more difficult scenarios.
But again, going back to Jeremy's point, that's not discovery or exploration, right? And so I think I still think it's discovery exploration, and the way that we can pay some of that off is through what you're talking about, right? Like you can, through gameplay, discover the most optimal way to get through the level. Again, top, bottom, and middle, depending on how we decide to do it. But the way that you are discovering that is by playing the level, finding the different areas, running them over and over again until you find the most optimal path. Like that's how I would pay off an exploration verb, as opposed to, again, like a flow verb. I would just go back to run. It feels like the same verb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, let's talk. I mean, I don't need to change it here right now.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We're almost done here. So like, let me do my plugs. But like, I think that next week we'll come back. Actually, let's do this. Brandon, why don't you tell us what we're gonna do? What you're gonna do while we're gone on Rift Runners, and what we'll see next week.
Yeah. So we had a lot of good discussion around. I mean, core verb, obviously, but how does that core verb change what we have in our level right here? And I think that's what we're looking for, is that fun, because we saw great examples from you, Tony, on other smaller, almost vibe together like games. I had a great game intro, like great vertical for that game. And like, how do we get here? Like, we've spent a few weeks on this. Like, we need to get to like that point, I think. And so like that'll be the main focus on what I'm going to brainstorm. So I'm going to brainstorm a lot of game design ideas. I'm going to draw out what I think this level should look like based off of those ideas. And then I'm going to feed that drawing into an LLM and then get the Godot MCP through Claude Code hooked up. It's already hooked up, get it reading that image, and then going through and implementing that level and then hand tweaking that. So,
well, and to Jeremy's point, I agree with this. Like, you should play it a bunch too.
Yep.
Like while you're doing that, so you can like, if it feels like a chore to play it a bunch, like that's a problem, right? And so that's that I would focus on like that, right? Like if it's like, oh man, this fucking dash or puzzle just really, I hate when I get there on this level. It feels repetitive. Get rid of it, right? And then change something else.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, just play the crap out of it, tweak anything that feels weird. Like getting into a chimney climb right now feels a little weird still in the more narrow chimneys. So like editing that, making that feel better.
So it flows better.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As a reminder, if you've not joined our Discord yet, it is discord.gg/Makko, M-A-K-K-O. And you can do all kinds of stuff there. You can enter our competitions every week to win $50 Steam gift cards. Go to Makko, make some art, make a vertical slice of a game that you want to make, share it in our Discord or on our subreddits, and you too could win free Steam content. We also have office hours on Fridays at noon Pacific time. So if you want to just come hang out, talk to the team, show us what you're building, ask us about what we're building, you can do that. And if you have an interest in diving deeper and learning more about how to use Makko and how to vibe, or not how to vibe, how to work with AI more efficiently, you should check out our YouTube channel. We have like 70 or 80 videos now and a whole playlist around education and how to use the product. So if you've not checked it out yet, it's Makko AI on YouTube. Check it out, and we'll see you next week.
Cool. See y'all.